Hey, welcome back to the Big Red Zone. We are very excited for today's show. We have Dedham's finest and fantasy football legend, Jack MORAN, is here. We'll talk to him about, I don't even know what. We just talk about random stuff for the next hour and a half.
Yeah, it was a fun one. Definitely a good time. I don't really know where half the time went, but.
Also, host of the Welcome to the Water Cooler. So, without further ado, let's get to this week's episode of the Big Red Zone. Tell a friend. Welcome to the podcast. It's Big Red Zone. I'm your host, Big Red. As always, I'm joined by my good friend James.
Hello.
Producer John's over there.
Yes, sir.
And today we have a very special treat. Dedham's finest, Jack MORAN, is here.
What's going on? Thanks for having me, boys.
Welcome in studio for the first. One of its very few guests are in studio.
Yes.
So,
am I the first repeat guest besides Zach?
Zach was the first repeat guest.
Wait, me?
Well, technically,
whatever.
No, Zach was first. And then
Zach
was first repeat, and then you were the second repeat.
But you're like part of the production now.
Right. He come on as two guests.
Technically, if you want, you're the most.
I don't know who. We never
outed
outed that. I don't know who knows. Some people know, but a lot of people.
I feel like the intro with producer John though. Like,
right.
This is very like third wall.
We're a minute in and we're behind the scenes now.
I'm just happy to be in the same place Dave Griffin was.
You're in the same chair.
I'm blessed.
Sat.
Way up, I feel blessed.
And many of you known we didn't even get into this, which we have a very you're hiding over there, James. Show off.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Show it off.
Sorry, Cam. I'm sorry, people. It's not a good look, but it is what it is.
It's unreal.
I have not shaved my face in probably 11 years, 10 years.
He's about to go into hiding for the next 2 weeks until he
I
feel
that. I haven't been clean shaved since my freshman year of college. So
sophomore year of high school.
Okay.
This guy.
Wow.
It's literally been 10, 11 years.
10, 11 years since he...
It's crazy.
10 years.
You know what, though? I will admit, when I was shaving, I might do the whole like goatee kind of thing, to be honest with you. It might match when I pick up a bike next week, so...
What time you
picking up a bike?
Yeah, I plan on getting a motorcycle.
What do we got?
Probably more like a classic kind of style, like a Honda Shadow or something, maybe a Harley or something of that sort.
It's more like a Harley guy to me.
Solid.
You need a leather jacket, too.
A leather vest.
You know I already have a leather jacket.
That's true.
You
know what he needs?
Talk to me.
The fringe jacket.
Oh, you know what? If I get in that Leonard Skinner band, I will buy that.
You know the fringe jacket I'm talking about.
I know the fringe jacket you're talking about.
The one that we bought at like...
Yeah. It was a total impulse buy. I told him to buy it, and it was one of the craziest jackets I've ever seen. He's never worn it, though.
Although, not going to lie, that one wouldn't fit me. I'd have to buy a different...
Barely fit me. It's super small. Well, yeah.
Really? How small is it?
It's small.
Oh.
We got a lot of big bodies back here. It's not fitting many of us.
There's a lot of heat going on back here.
Like, we got the AC cranking. You'll see me adjust a couple times.
I mean, we do have a fan over there that can be turned on.
Nah, it's
all good.
If it gets that bad.
So, Jack, it's great. We haven't seen each other for a long time.
It's been a bit. I think, last time in person? Was it the draft last year?
The famous
when this
Rob's Bald Spot draft.
What a league. I'll leave it at that, but... It's
not one for cowards.
It's
I
not.
Must say.
Well, there's a couple cowards, but those cowards always seem to have an issue. Did we talk about? I'm trying to think. Did we tell you guys about how he showed up to the draft last time?
No.
Yeah, we can get into that.
So the running joke the first 2 years of the league was. Like whatever rivalry week.
What is it, like you guys' fantasy league? What are we talking about?
Okay, fantasy football.
Okay.
So like me and Steve were division rivals, and so he was 5-0 against me in the first 2 years. One of them was like we didn't make the playoffs, so it doesn't really.
It would have
count.
been 6-0.
No, because you only played twice every regular season.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought it was 6.
You
was
played
5-0.
Yeah,
okay,
so it was 5-0.
Okay.
But, like, it was really 4-0. But regardless, he shows up to the draft with a 5-0 shirt. Because that league group message just goes on and on. We all just talk so much shit to each other. Like,
year round.
That league. You've talked
and on
about
the back,
so
you
many
didn't say what on the back I wrote. Do you remember what I wrote on the back? I wrote, Jack can't beat me.
Oh, yeah. But then I went 2-0 against him this year.
No,
so.
I beat you. I beat you this week.
You beat me when we were both out of the playoffs.
I beat you for $50, though.
Were we
That was
playing
for third
50?
place. That was for third place.
I don't even think I said my lineup that week. Fuck.
Ooh.
That was for.
He did beat. I mean, I didn't get my money back, so I guess it's a win.
That's
I
But
did.
it doesn't count towards the
Doesn't-
2-0. So
Yeah, that's probably one of the best leagues I've been in. It's
fun,
It's
dude.
fun.
dude, my team was so good this year. I was looking at the roster the other day
Yeah.
because I went balls to the walls trying to win it, and of course I lost.
He always does that right at the trade deadline. He goes all in for that year. He traded away Alvin Kamara at the deadline, who would have been like a 14th round. It was like because it was a waiver pickup.
Yep.
Not obviously it's like year
Yeah.
2, but it was a waiver pickup, so he would have been like 14th pick.
Somewhere in there, yeah.
And,
14, 13.
He
something.
traded him away, and
Yeah.
that's
So
the
you guys
curse.
are doing like one of those legacy leagues or something like that.
It's
where
just
it's,
keep-
It's a, yeah, you get
It's just
two
a keeper.
keepers.
yeah.
Which I was going through. I have a lot of good keepers I could keep from
I have
this
some.
year.
I have to decide. I have some guys that I gotta
I have
decide
to
from.
decide between Russ and I could keep for a 9th round pick.
It's not bad.
That's really good.
I think he's good. Quarterbacks usually go around that time, though. No,
I
It's
feel like
close.
he'd be
Russ,
earlier.
Russ is
Ninth
close.
round? No, they go earlier.
Right, because
And
Russ
most-
had that like one off year because he had the banged up ankle.
Yeah.
Everyone was hurt.
I'm a big Russ guy, so
I'm
I'm
a
gonna be.
huge Russ
I want to
guy.
be. I think he's the best quarterback in the league. Maybe
I think even playing field, he's
Yeah.
the best quarterback in the
Yeah.
league. Which producer John, it seems like that was an earth take quake. A
What
little,
was it?
even playing field, if he had Mahomes' weapon, he's better than
Yeah.
Mahomes.
Oh,
If
yeah,
he
yeah,
had
yeah.
Travis Kelce, he had
Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek Hill,
Sammy Watkins.
Sammy Watkins, all those
Um,
guys. He would be.
But yeah, so I think I have to decide between Russ, Dalvin Cook, Tyreek Hill,
What's Dalvin Cook? He's up
second
there,
or
though.
third. But
Yeah,
still, he's a top 5 running back.
Yeah, that's true.
I
You could get depending on where your pick is. you
and
could
that's
get him in
why
the
I want
second
us to decide already where we're picking.
Yeah.
Like, I got Tyreek Hill, could be a 5th round pick. AJ Brown was a free agent that I picked
Yeah.
up. Could be my last pick. So.
Yeah, I got Dak could be a last round pick, which
That's
I think I'm
solid.
gonna keep him.
Yeah, that's solid.
I could have, and then it's between James Conner, who could be like a 14th round
Yeah.
pick, which he had an off year, but with Ben coming back, I feel like
He
he's
had an
gonna have-
off year, but I'd be worried about that shoulder, dude. He
But
keeps
for a 14th
yeah,
round
that's
pick,
true. That's
like
true.
that's why like I'm
That's a
willing
lot
to
of
take a
value for
chance.
Yeah.
And the other guy is shoot, who's the? It's Dak's wide receiver, not Amari Cooper.
Gallup.
Gallup,
Yep.
Michael Gallup, as he would be the same slot. He would,
I do
free agent.
think he's gonna. Yeah, because I had Gallup at one point. I think he's gonna drop off a little this year because they added. Who do they add?
CeeDee
CeeDee
Lamb.
Lamb. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lamb's legit.
CeeDee Lamb's
He's
good.
nasty.
I tried to get him in my dynasty league, pick
Would-
him up in dynasty.
I bet if they got CeeDee Lamb early on, they wouldn't have signed that 5-year, $100 million deal with Amari.
I don't know.
I mean,
I-
we got to see how he is on the
You
field.
could,
though.
but like, dude, they still haven't paid Dak yet. What are you gonna do?
That's true.
You can't
Yeah.
pay everyone.
Yeah.
If you can replace
No.
Amari with
Right.
CeeDee Lamb,
Yeah.
it's
Who knows?
yeah.
And they may end up.
They may move on from Dak. You never know.
From the sounds of it, they don't want to pay him that
If
much.
he's gonna want $300 million, like drive him to the airport yourself, Jerry.
Yeah.
well,
Like,
this whole Chiefs deal really screwed up the,
Well, that's
the
what I'm
Cowboys. Is
saying,
the
like-
thing. If Mahomes is getting 500+ million, averaging like 50 million a year with incentives, Dak's contract now seems far more reasonable than what it was.
for $30 million, like
he's
I-
gonna want more though.
he's gonna want more than 30.
But that's what I'm
million.
saying. Like a few months ago, we talked about, we were all like, it's a lot of money, but it's debatable. I could see both sides of it where it'd be worth it. But now, with Mahomes getting paid 50 mil a year, roughly, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they sign it with him. But the problem
like-
is, where's the space?
Mahomes is the only player in the league you can pay that much. You know whose deal
yeah.
looks like an absolute steal now is Russ.
Yeah.
4-year,
Russ,
$140 million deal.
Oh, yeah.
He got
Dude,
screwed.
I mean,
Not screwed.
I
but,
don't
like,
think he's someone that's gonna take $50 million because he knows what it will do to.
Yeah.
the
His
team.
Yeah.
Because now that Chiefs team is going to be in rough shape in a couple years.
Yes, but the only thing is, like, Mahomes is good enough to that. If you gave Mahomes Russ's weapons, what Russ has been working with, he can still win. He might not win a Super Bowl,
But can you afford those Russ's weapons with taking? Like you said, Russ has a significantly lower paycheck than him. He does.
But like, you got to think. So DK is on. So any
DK's
rookie
a rookie
receiver,
deal.
he's on a rookie deal. Lockett before last year, the year before, was never really recognized.
Yeah.
Greg Olson's on like a
Yeah,
low.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna be good though. They got that other tight end, that
We have,
random white dude that like broke his leg. But he was nasty for like 3 weeks.
Will Disley.
Disley,
He was good. And they got a host of tight ends, dude. They got that kid who was on the Patriots. The young kid. Hollister.
Yep. But like all these are like minimum guys. Like
Chris Carson's going to get a big payday.
I don't know. Not from them, I don't think.
I think he's one of my favorite running backs.
They
in the league.
just signed another. Who was it? He's
one of my favorite running backs in the league. He's consistently solid at production.
And also, this whole discussion is predicated on the fact of if they change the cap or not. And
That's true.
If they change a few rules here.
They just signed Carlos Hyde. So now,
but
Hyde, Carson, Rashad Penny was a first-round pick 2 years ago. Like, they're all gonna get their chances.
Right.
I'm not saying this.
Chris Carson's going to be the main back. I'd agree. He's going to get money to the carries, maybe on the goal line situations or like fourth and short, third and short. They may give it to Carlos Hyde, but
has he ever been good enough that you can justify
Chris Carson
giving him? Because all right, if you're going to pay a running back at this point, like, would you put him in the categories of even a Devonta Freeman at $8 million a year? I would never say he's been equal to Devonta Freeman.
Well, I think he's also young in his career too.
But so was Freeman when he got that.
I think that I would put him in like one of those. So thinking I think of it like from a fantasy perspective of like, I know how we zone like the players, like the top of like the first round picks, like Zeke in another like is in that top class or like, Barkley, those guys.
I would say Carson's a top 20 running back. I wouldn't put him
go
top
a little
10.
higher. I wouldn't go top 10, but I would
probably say closer
to
15.
15 to 10. I think he's just on the outer, and I think he has the potential if he stays healthy, because that was his biggest problem.
That's always his downfall.
If he stayed healthy, he could be
a top 10. Low 10, like 9, 10.
But he's consistent.
He is.
Like I got him just as like a. Yeah, let's see how it goes.
Him.
Yeah, I traded him. I think you traded him to me, and I was kind of just like, all right, let's see how he goes.
Because don't get me wrong, he's good. He's not someone that I would pay. I don't think you pay running backs anyways. Like, I thought Burkhead was gone before we restructured his contract.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I want to see what Damian Harris has.
I was so upset they didn't give him a chance last year because he was.
I get not giving him a chance last year. You still had Sony. You still have James White.
I'm not giving up on Sony.
No way.
I'm not giving up on. And obviously, don't give up James White. James White was actually good.
Yeah.
Water break.
Quick water break. 10 minutes in.
While we have a pause, let me just maybe drop a little trail here. We've been talking about it, and I don't know if it's really. So we can cut this out if we want to cut it out. Big Red Zone Fantasy Football League. We've been tossing around the idea.
Okay. All right, just a friendly, no stake, no high stakes, just a bragging rights and talking.
I would like to officially throw my hat in the contestant.
We'd probably have to structure it like obviously us three and then like notable guests. So we get you,
maybe Zach.
Right.
Zach would do it.
Try to get Dennis. Shout out Dennis.
Right.
Yo, Dennis, my
throw it out to Dennis.
Get Ty Schwab. That'd be cool.
That
was a good one. I was listening to that on my way here.
Yeah,
he's a wicked cool dude.
Awesome.
He just seemed like a bro.
Yeah.
Isn't that cool?
But yeah, definitely want to have him on again in the future. He was awesome.
But yeah, just to drop a little, here's the
question: how many people could we have in a league where it makes sense?
10 to 12.
10 to 12.
12 cap.
12.
So that's actually a perfect size, I think, for us because we have 9 other people besides the 3 of us.
Right.
So 8, 7, 6. So we still got, if we need, like another 5 or 6 spots.
Yeah.
Yeah. 10 is better.
I would say shoot for
10.
Yeah, I think 10's better team wise, more competitive. Because like. You could have 12 and everyone has 2 really good players, but what if one team, both their really good players get hurt?
Exactly.
So it's like there's just more. I don't know. I like 10.
10 is more exciting.
10's better because then also free agents wise and waiver pickups, there's more room for like you to hit that gem because there's less. Think of it. There's 20 less people, or how many? It'd be like 30 less players. If
160 compared to 175.
Right.
So an extra 15.
Double.
Yeah, every extra person.
So
so 190 because there's 2.
It's 2 teams. Math. Big Red Zone math.
So we'll test the waters on that.
That'd be fun.
Cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Because then we could have a segment every week for
bet.
I'm
bragging
in on
rights.
that.
Right.
And we
Keep
could even
track
do
of
a
it
quick
and
little
stuff.
thing
I'll
that
do
like
that.
shows the scores and stuff
I'll
like
do
that.
that call-in like you were saying, and
Dude,
I'll
that'd
talk
be
shit to
sick.
Steve
Yeah,
every week.
yeah.
That'd be sick.
You lost again, you coward.
Don't you dare use that C word with me.
But you know what's funny?
Shout out to Rob Marcello, King Coward.
You know what that means? Hear me out. You know what, guys? This is perfect. Do you want to know why? I just picked up this new interface. I can have 8 microphones. If we really wanted
Jesus.
to, since wait a minute,
league meeting?
but wait a minute, hear me out.
Live
Because I
draft
have
here.
our own router up here and everything, we could have people here, and whoever wants to be here for like the live draft, we could potentially have a bunch of people here.
That'd be nuts.
That'd be a crazy draft.
I'm
Imagine
I'm just,
Dennis in the
I'm just
house.
throwing it out there.
Ty.
All right, Ty's a bit of a
Some
drive.
bit-
That's a bit of a.
All
He's
of
in
it-
Florida
We can
still,
do it-
isn't he?
we can do it
Yeah.
Zoom. Zoom
No, we
it
can do
in.
Zoom too, but that's what I'm
Zoom
saying.
in.
Like for our friends that are local here as well,
Yeah,
it could be an insane day.
that would be unreal.
I'm down.
Put the draft board right here.
I think we should just save Rob a spot. And then he can make his big red zone debut. Right, Rob, I'm calling you out to join this league.
Oh, it'd be great.
You gotta inform who Rob is.
Rob is the most unique individual
Okay.
you will ever met. I love this kid.
Okay.
He is
He is a favorite. He's a favorite.
uh,
Brockton Rocks legend. Too.
he is a Brockton Rocks
Bobby
legend.
Broadcast.
Oh, it's that. It's the same That's the
Yeah,
same.
Bobby
Oh.
Broadcast.
Rob. He
That's
right.
many people know him by his stage name,
Yeah.
Bobby Broadcast.
that is an elite individual there.
I've never heard of such like a niche thing. We're talking about some guy who works for the Brockton Rocks. Kind of.
He did his
doesn't take
he was
kindly
there
to
the year
cowards.
that he hates the word coward.
So that's where the
That's
coward.
not-
Yeah,
okay,
that's where the
gotcha,
coward
gotcha,
joke
gotcha.
comes. Yeah, but yeah, he did his internship the year that I did it. What was that? 2017 summer, I
Oh
think.
my God!
Yeah.
How long ago?
Yeah.
That's coming up.
Damn.
4 years, 4 years ago.
Yeah,
Jeez,
that was wild. That was a funny summer.
that was a fun
The
year.
fact that this fantasy league is still going though is actually
That's
kinda
how we
wild.
started the
Yeah,
league.
yeah.
It was the
Yeah.
intern class that year, and they needed an extra person, so I jumped in,
Yeah,
and it was one of the best decisions I've made. It was
hilarious, dude.
I think it was going. I don't know if it was hopping off today, but it was popping off definitely yesterday or the day before.
Yeah, I forget what it was.
It was definitely some coward talk.
Yeah,
I think-
I keep it on do not disturb sometimes, especially when I'm at work.
Yeah.
It's popping off, so I'll catch it way later, and I'm like, I don't want to jump in now.
Yeah.
But
Danny Football came in coming in firing because we were deciding when to pick the draft order thing this week. And he says, "Pick a date, you cowards."
Rob did not take too kindly
No.
to that.
Is there not to get too personal? Is there a reason?
I
why he
think.
hates
I just
that
don't think he
word?
likes to be called. I think he's a.
Should we do a live
Fair.
call to Rob?
I don't know if he would.
Oh man, this
Let
is
me
getting
see if he
wild.
He's a what?
We can cut it out if.
He's an
Oh, yeah.
upstanding individual, and I think
You might
he
need
just,
to preface with you tell him, hey, we're live
I'm
on.
gonna tell.
Yeah. Oh, this is good.
Let me tell you something, Rob.
Hello?
Rob,
Yes, buddy.
hey, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm great. I have a question for you.
Tell
I
him.
might have an
tell,
answer.
Tell him we're live.
Yeah, so I am currently recording Big Red Zone, and this is a live dial-in question. So you're live being recorded right
Welcome,
now.
Rob, to the show.
Welcome.
Okay, sure.
I don't think he hears this.
Everyone said hello and welcome.
Thank you.
Can you explain why you do not like the word coward?
I just think it's mean.
All
There's
right.
no-
Thanks, Rob. We'll talk about you on this.
Rob, I just built it up. Oh my God,
It
Rob.
was mean. 3 words.
You just
That was-
made me look like such a
Oh,
liar, Rob.
Straight to the point. I love it.
I love you.
Thank you.
Hey, let me tell you something, buddy.
Now let me tell you something.
All right, I'll talk to you later.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Rob.
But
You heard it here, folks. It's
It is
mean.
mean.
Thank you, Rob, for it was like when we had Noah on. Noah was another person from that league, and we said he gives the hottest takes. He went soft
Sam,
on us.
It was lukewarm, man. I was expecting
Sam
fire.
Darnold
He didn't
has
give the-
AIDS.
Yeah,
was
that-
one of his
instead of
takes.
mono.
Mono.
Instead of mono, it was really. I was like, what?
I think my favorite thing about Noah is you just legitimately never know what he's gonna say. Like it's literally
Noah's
like
definitely another person maybe in that fantasy football. He's definitely
Yeah.
a potential fantasy.
he's
football
a
player.
multi-timer, right? He did it? No, he did it once.
He called in a couple times.
Okay,
but
yeah. I knew he was on once, and then
He had like a shorter segment where we did like 10 minutes.
We had-
Damn, I can't believe
Chef
Rob just left me hanging like
That was
that.
crazy.
That
That was
was
so
disappointing.
funny.
That was beautifully disappointing.
It was
I
funny
love
because
it.
like it was disappointing because me and Steve thought he was gonna go on a rant, and you guys just didn't know what to expect. It was mean.
It was mean.
I love that kid.
In the fantasy league that me and you did, we might have talked about before. Like to choose the order, we do like wrestling.
That's
Yeah.
probably the
Characters or
most creative
something.
one. So in our league, because we're in, as everyone knows from our fantasy, if you listen to our fantasy football sections back in the past, am in like 20 leagues, and one of the leagues I'm in is with producer John, and it's mostly people from your grade,
Yeah.
from West Bridgewater, and then I think maybe one or two from my grade. But the way we pick the draft order is the commissioner has WWE SmackDown, like 2K something.
Like WWE 19, 2K20,
Yeah. Like a
Royal
whatever
Rumble?
it
Then we do a
That's
Royal Rumble. We
hilarious.
all pick a wrestler, and whoever's out first gets the 10th pick, and then so on. Whoever's last standing gets the first pick.
I absolutely agree with that.
is. Mm-hmm.
It's the best. It's definitely the best draft order selection I've ever been a part
Rapid
of.
fire, James. Who's your wrestler you're choosing?
You know what? This comes out of left field. Great Khali.
Jeez. Wow.
I think he
Left
did my
field.
taxes.
I think callback.
Wow.
Okay. He's big. He's not going to
out of
get
left
I
field.
get your reason.
I do
mean,
too.
if I had to go to
Yeah.
my true core, I'd have to do Stone Cold Steve Austin. 'Cause he was my
I think that's a
Listen,
better
that's
answer.
a-
I was gonna say, I was
We'll
like,
cut
I
out
think
the
he has the
wins.
most
I'll be honest. You
wins.
put me on the spot. I didn't expect
I think
it. but
it's crazy. I put you on the spot and you went with Great Khali.
that was my on the spot. I was like, oh shit.
I mean, it's a
But-
smart pick, to
It's
be
a smart
honest.
pick,
I
I
probably
think.
would have gone with Stone Cold, too.
Yeah.
3 times. I think he was a 3
Yeah,
time.
he's
I don't know
one
Two
much
or three,
wrestling,
yeah,
but I
that's
Stone
fine.
Cold, you
Yeah.
got Triple H
Yeah.
is another good pick. You got a few others.
Actually,
All right, let's leave some for the rest of us when we pick around.
Steve's got no more to
I
choose
don't know
from.
wrestling.
We already know who he's picking. So
Who do I pick?
You're going to pick Undertaker.
yeah, thank you,
I do
John.
love the Undertaker, but I don't know if I'd pick him.
Who would you pick?
Well, who'd you pick?
I think I'd pick
Rey
just
Mysterio.
Jeez, he did kill someone.
He won the Royal Rumble.
Exactly.
He won the
He
Royal
did
Rumble in
win.
2006.
yeah, and
And
then
they're-
beat
Don't look at me.
I don't know who he beat. He came in
Triple H yet?
in the Royal
Man-
Rumble to throw
no,
him out.
No.
Who did he beat at Mania?
Oh, no, it was
No.
Kurt Angle and Orton, and he won
Oh,
the
yeah,
world title.
triple
That was the
threat,
same
yeah.
year Eddie died.
Oh, Randy Orton. That's
I think
another
I'd go
guy.
The Rock. I like The Rock just
It's a good
based on
answer.
how
Yep, yep.
he
Good
talks
answer.
a lot of trash and he's funny.
Can
Dude,
you smell?
Speaking of Eddie dying, so I was watching the Chris Benoit documentary the other
The
day.
Vice one or whatever it was.
Yeah.
yeah. I watched that too.
Dude, that was sad.
Insane,
Like,
bro.
I feel bad saying this, but I can't believe Chavo. Like, how does he handle that?
Oh yeah, because he's at like the epicenter of just like
Dude,
the two
that's
families.
your best
about
friend
him.
and your uncle, dude. That I would
Yeah.
definitely recommend watching it.
It's so good.
Is it on
It's
Netflix?
really good.
Or
It's
is it
on you. I watched it.
Yeah, I
on
watched on
YouTube.
YouTube
Yeah,
too.
It was like
Ooh.
You can
an
find it like
hour.
on demand. So basically, it's the Chris Benoit.
Yeah, he
Story.
like
It was a double murder homicide on his family because he
Yeah.
was basically, for those who don't know, Chris Benoit in like the early 2000s, late 90s. This wrestling boom with like smaller guys. It's like Chris Benoit, Rey Mysterio, Eddie Guerrero, like those guys, and they were coming up. And before then, in the 90s and the 80s, Vince McMahon, just wrestling in general, was all these like beefy,
The
like
big
big
guys, yeah.
guys.
Right,
But
right.
finally, kind of started to take a shift in the early 2000s, and they call it the SmackDown 6 because it was these like prime kind of cruiserweight guys. It was Eddie. I want to say I'm gonna get this wrong, but I think it was Eddie, Ray, Chris Benoit,
Yep.
Kurt Angle,
Yep.
Chavo, and someone else. I forget.
There was
I
another
don't
lightweight
remember.
there that was.
They're all lightweights. I forget who the sixth one was. We can look it up after. But anyway, long story short, Chris Benoit had his finishing move was the flying headbutt. As you can imagine, having a move called the flying headbutt, you do a little damage to your brain. Plus that on top of those like steroids and painkillers and all this other stuff. And in 2006, I think it was, or 2005, around that area, he murdered.
I think that's when Eddie was, and he was 07.
I think who died first? Eddie.
Eddie.
Eddie died
Eddie
first?
was the trigger.
Right, because that's when
Yeah.
the documentary. Right. To go back to what you're talking about, documentary.
Yeah.
Like, you're right. That's what they said in the documentary. Like, because he was already kind of like messed up, like
Yeah.
mentally and everything, and the protocols in terms of like the health and testing weren't there either. And then you're right, Eddie dying was kind of the straw, which that's what I saw in the documentary. Like hit me. I was like, I didn't know that.
I didn't. There was
Yeah.
so much that I like didn't know because like back when Benoit was, I mean, I was 7, 8.
Right,
Back
right.
when that was happening. So like I
Right.
liked wrestling, but I didn't like know the behind the scenes. I remember one of my buddies were in like elementary school, and when Eddie died, Eddie was his favorite.
Mhm.
So he was like distraught.
Yeah.
But dude, I remember like from the documentary, like when Chavo was like, "Oh yeah, I was on the phone with Benoit, and he just like let out this like cry." I was like, damn. Like I felt like I was like could picture it, and it was wicked sad. And then he like got to the hotel and just like leaned down and kissed him on the forehead. I was like, damn.
Right, because he was the one that found him, right? Chavo.
Chavo did,
found
but
him.
then Benoit came, kissed Eddie on the forehead, and I was like,
Gotcha.
damn. Like I can't believe like Chavo lost his uncle, who was one of his best friends, then his other best friend. Like I can't believe.
You know what's crazier?
He's not messing.
Chris Benoit's son, David Benoit. He had 2 sons. He killed one of them. I think one was, I don't know the family situation, but like one of them like wasn't at the house or was either
living with his first.
Yeah,
wife.
something like
I think
that.
That's what it said.
And so he survived, and he's like gone. He looks exactly like Chris Benoit. Like I think he's in the documentary, right?
Yeah, it was like
he's trying to be a wrestler
that
now.
Is definitely Chris Benoit's.
Wow.
It's like imagine being him.
That just happened because he's like he was saying how he stopped watching wrestling. His mom's sister, they had no contact until they were doing this documentary. And then for the first time in like 12 years, they brought him back together and they went to a wrestling show. Damn, that's a tough time to see your aunt for the first time in 12 years.
Behind the stuff things is just like.
But yeah, now
I think I saw that video online. There was a video going on online with like, it was like, I think it was the end of that. It was like the reaction like at that wrestling event. It was, who's the lady with the short hair?
Vicky Guerrero.
Vicky Guerrero.
That's Eddie's wife.
Eddie's wife. So they were at like front row, and like it was like when they first got the news, and it was like everyone was.
Well, you know what's crazy? They like initially they got the report that he just like died. They didn't know he like killed his family. They didn't know like anything. So like that Monday Night Raw, they had like a memorial for him, and it was like all like dedicated to Chris, and then like a couple days later it came all like the tragedy details came out.
Yeah.
Right.
And they like they had to go like oops like hey. Our bad,
We're not gonna mention this guy ever again.
But yeah, I'm glad we don't get to indulge in wrestling talk, and I love it. This is my jam.
Yeah, that honestly. So that brought it up, and I was like, when we were talking about what's been going on in sports, I'm like, well, nothing's really started back up yet. It's like, but I watched this the other day. I was at work, and like someone like pulled up a YouTube video, or whatever, and it was like on the side. I'm like, I never watched that, and like I used to like Benoit, so I'm like, oh, let me watch it. So I was watching. I was like, damn, dude. Like, I didn't know half of that.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah, I recommend it to both. I mean, both you guys and everyone listening. It's a really, and it's like, it comes
sad.
off of like, it's one of those like Vice documentaries, like really like in depth, like really sad. Yeah, it's tough. Yeah, definitely don't watch it if you want to be in a good mood after.
Yeah.
But like,
do you watch the Taker one?
I watched not all of it. I watched like the first couple episodes.
I haven't watched it yet, but I heard
it's pretty good.
A couple of my buddies said it was excellent.
It's
like,
pretty good. You'd like that too.
I don't really follow anymore. Like I'll watch like Mania and the Rumble with my brother because my brother still follows it, but I don't watch like NXT. Or I don't even know who half the guys are.
Yeah. It's nuts now. They got again. We can get off wrestling talk, but there's like the AEW promotion. You hear about that?
Yeah.
That's like
Cody Rhodes, right?
Yeah, Cody Rhodes and like this dude Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks. It's like
my brother's a big fan of all them, so he always talks about them. And I'm like, dude, I don't know.
There's this one dude. His name is Luchasaurus. And he's like this 7-foot dude.
Was he a dinosaur?
Type in Luchasaurus on your laptop and look him up. He's this 7-foot like dude. His name is Luchasaurus. He wears a dinosaur mask and he's like a luchador. He like does flips and everything. He's insane. He's my favorite.
Oh wait.
That's a big.
This guy was on Big Brother.
Yes, Luchasaurus was on Big Brother.
He was a moron. I hate this.
What, you
dude.
hate Luchasaurus?
He was a moron on Big Brother, dude.
He looks like a big dumb Jason Momoa. Or Roman Reigns.
This is him on Big Brother. He had like a little, like a beard, like braid. Him. That's him.
Yeah, he.
Nerd. That picture's way.
Yeah, it covers his face. He was a moron.
Wait, talk to me about this. Because he's like unbelievably athletic. It's insane. He's amazing.
Nothing like he was very athletic. He was just like.
Because you're a Big Brother guy.
Yeah,
I don't know if the audience knows this.
I love
Big Brother
Survivor
guy.
and Big Brother.
I used to watch Survivor a lot with my mom when I was younger.
He was on arguably one of my least favorite seasons of all time.
Talk to me about it. What happened?
And actually, it's because his alliance member Vanessa something. She's a professional poker player. She's like a blonde hair. She has blonde
I
hair.
don't know
She's like
any
a
football
well.
players.
It doesn't exactly weed that
She's
down.
a
there,
well-known. Well, she's a well-known. She's like one of the first pioneers of like female
Okay.
poker players. Like she's
okay.
one of the first to make
Okay.
it to that level.
Mhm.
She was more like not a moron because she was smart, but she was just like annoying to watch.
Uh-huh.
And he was right along with her, and he was just as annoying.
Really?
In that he got in a showmance with like these twin. It was one of the twins.
Showman.
That's what I was
That's what
saying.
they call it. You never heard that?
No.
It's
That's
like
some
basically.
term-
I don't watch
Technology.
reality TV.
Nah.
It's
A
basically like
showman?
he got in like he was like dating this girl on the show, but it really didn't really mean anything. But one of the twists was they put this girl in the show.
You watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians,
No, I
don't
don't
you?
watch that.
Steve.
Different. It's
Steve.
Different, I
This is a
swear.
game show.
This is
Oh,
competitive.
this is a game show?
It's a game. It's
All
All right, we're getting
they play
into
for
it.
money.
We don't.
Oh.
Well, I'll say, all right, we don't have much else to talk about. Give us your. This is your Big Brother moment. I got my wrestling
who's
in.
my-
I want you to explain what Big Brother is, why you love it so much, and then
So
we'll get into it.
To be very clear, I think Survivor's like my favorite. Survivor's just an edge above it.
OG.
Because,
Yeah.
because that was like the first one.
Do you ever
I
watch
watched.
Amazing Race?
Love Amazing.
I used to watch
Amazing
that
Race
all
is
the
Amazing
time.
cool.
Race
Amazing Race
is
is cool.
third though. It goes
Right,
Survivor,
okay.
Big Brother, Amazing Race for me.
Okay.
Interesting.
So Big Brother, I think I'd be better at Big Brother than Survivor. It's longer time
I
period.
agree.
Because I'd be inside more. It's more of a social interaction. You don't have to do any of the elements. You get like free food for the whole summer. You can basically you have
You
competition.
can't leave the house though,
You
right?
can't leave
Unless
the
it's
house.
like that's the whole
There's
thing.
no connection with the outside world.
Got it.
Yeah.
So, which is
Got it.
that would be the tough part. Like since it's so long, because it starts in like June and ends in September.
Yeah.
You
If you-
auditioned, right?
No.
You auditioned for Big Brother.
For Big Brother, yeah. I
Yeah.
went to the open casting in Boston.
Imagine
Which-
Steve was just on this.
And
On this
I was
Keeping
on
Up with
the
the
last- I was on-
Kardashians
I was
show.
on this season with him, and he was a complete jerk.
Like if you got in, you would have been on
No.
season.
Fun fact: a guy got picked from
Mhm.
that thing, and he's from Bridgewater.
Really?
His name's Kevin. I don't know.
Oh.
He's kind of he's an older dude.
Okay, shout out
But
Kevin.
He's cool. Come on the podcast.
Yeah, we'll get Kevin on the pod.
I think we messaged him, but he didn't. So he's from Bridgewater. He has like his daughters go to BSU,
Mhm.
and they're all in Bridgewater. But
Okay.
you basically live in the house, and there's votes. There's like different competitions each week, and there's votes each week, and then you play for like $500,000. Like the winner gets
That's
$500,000. Now Survivor,
Patrick Mahomes got that for playing football for 10
See?
years.
3 months.
No. That's $500 million.
Or
That's
whatever.
$500 million.
Oh, you said half a
12
million.
years.
Oh, gee.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind.
So that's Big Brother. Survivor's kind of the same thing, only it's outside. It's for like 39
days. Yeah.
So why do you love Big Brother so much? Why is like Big Brother your number
Because
one?
it's kind of no Survivor's no number one.
Or whatever. Like, well, all I've known you is like every time Big Brother's on, like you're like why do you love it?
addicted.
Why?
I like.
It's his Bachelorette.
Yeah,
it's
that's
my
what I'm.
bachelor,
Yeah.
It's my Bachelor, my Bachelor.
whatever, yeah, same thing.
It's that kind of show. I just like watching it.
Yeah.
It's interesting to see how, the different personalities, how they'll work in the house.
Yeah.
They always have different themes for the show. So
Yeah.
like, one theme is like extra. Like the theme is maybe summer. It's like they did like I said, the twin twist in that season, they had a set of twins, but they kept swapping them out for like half the season. So like a couple days would be this one twin, and then they'd say,
That's
come to
funny.
the diary room. And so he was dating one of the twins and didn't realize it.
Luchasaurus was dating
Yeah.
one of the twins.
And he ended up dating her for shortly after the show. But they're like Instagram models or whatever. They were on MTV too. But
So reality.
I can't
TV.
imagine. I can't imagine you in this world. It's being like an MTV
I love
star or whatever.
I'm glad we talked about it because the challenge just finished. Are you a challenge person? The challenge, it's an MTV's like, it's
Nah.
basically kind of like this. They go in a
How
house
many of
and they
these
have
shows
to
do
do.
you watch?
They have to. I'll tell you the story about this. This is actually interesting how I got into this.
Real quick, what would have been your? Because you said they all have like a different like their thing. What was your thing? Like in your audition, you're like, I'm this guy,
I would be more like the
the tall,
personalities.
handsome, funny guy.
Yeah, just the athletic,
The Tom Brady
funny,
of the.
the Tom Brady guy, Tom
Yeah.
Brady smile of the
Okay.
of the group. I basically said, I work with people. That's what I do because I was at the time doing a lot of teaching. I was coaching. I was working at the Rocks, with like upstairs doing more like
Yeah.
public relations things. So I was like, I'm constantly working with parents, trying to keep them
Mhm.
happy. So I know how to like read a room and like move my way through people. I'm a people person. So like I just kind of talked about that. I talked about how I watched the show since the beginning. I know how it works. I can figure it out. So that was kind of short rendition of what I said, but like that's basically what I said.
We'll get you to do your whole audition one time.
Dude,
like
we should
I'm
do it
so
right here.
curious. Do you have it memorized? If you could do your whole audition right now,
No,
could
I
you?
have to come up with something.
Are you going to
different.
audition again?
Maybe. It's
hope
kind
you
of
do.
been because the rumor for Big Brother this year was they were going to do All Stars, which would have been awesome because it would have been all the best players. Because it was short term.
That's like when Boston Rob went back on
Boston.
Survivor.
Don't even get Boston. Rob is my favorite Survivor player of all.
What is he?
time.
Hyde Park, I think. That's right. Yeah, I
Is
think
he-
he's from Hyde.
he's from
yeah.
Hyde Park?
His
Yeah.
family's got a bakery right in Reedville,
Yeah,
or right in Hyde Park, which is right next to Dedham.
He's the best Survivor player ever to play the game. He's one of my
Yeah,
favorites.
he's a
Him and
dog.
Jeremy. You know Jeremy, the firefighter from Cambridge.
I don't remember.
He
him.
won Survivor. He was
Dude,
on-
you know who I used to love was Rupert.
Rupert was one of my favorites
Rupert
too.
was the man.
Rupert was this giant. I'll pull up a picture of Rupert.
I have no idea.
bigger than
what
Luchasaurus?
anything
I
is
met
about.
Rupert.
Did you?
He's a nice dude.
Rupert looks like he does acid recreationally.
kind of have an idea of who I think he looks
That's
like.
Ron.
He's like a big dude with
Lo-
a big beard.
Yeah.
Like wore tie dye.
Tie dye.
He's like a drug addict Dan Blazarian.
He's a recovered. I think he was on drugs and he
I
recovered.
don't know.
And he runs.
He looks like a hippie Dan Blazarian.
And he runs like a recovery center for teens.
good for
Like
him.
not a
wow.
recovery center, but like a troubled youth center.
I kind of feel like an asshole for saying he
Don't
looks like
feel
he uses
bad.
acid recreationally.
he
Past
takes
tense.
troubled youth and like
No, good for him.
works with them to like build stuff and like programs and stuff like that. He's a great person. But
Yeah.
his season was the first Survivor season I watched like live.
Yeah.
I interrupted you. What was you had a Big Brother story? I
No, it was
interrupted
the
you.
No,
challenge.
the challenge. So the challenge is MTV's like version of one of these shows. They do like extreme, like they were hang off the side of a moving truck going like 50 miles an
That is
hour.
ridiculous.
They just climbed like a ice mountain. Like that was the
I assume they're
final.
using safety equipment.
They're
so
all
nobody
like,
dies.
what's that
I mean,
one when they do?
Fear Factor.
Yeah.
If they died, they died.
Yeah, if they
What's
die,
the
they're out.
sacrifice
What's
I'm
that
willing to make?
show that they like go through the mud and they like climb stuff?
Oh, the
called boot
military.
camp?
Yeah, I was
No,
gonna
no,
say.
no. It's like it's like people do like they'll go like through the mud series and it's like they do.
It's almost like
obstacles.
that new thing with the Rock, Titan Games or something.
Kind,
Like that.
I guess, but that's not
Oh,
like
you're talking about, like, the
normal
Spartan race
Spartan
stuff?
races.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to
Okay,
think of.
okay.
It's kind of like I think they even had auditions at Spartan races, but they have this kid Johnny Bananas. Shout out Johnny Bananas. He just won.
Wait, time out. Johnny Bananas.
Johnny Bananas.
Why
he's
not
challenged-
Johnny
Is that
Cantaloupe?
his actual
Johnny
Johnny
Bananas.
Strawberries.
He's the goat of the challenge. He's one of my favorite challenge players. He's just crazy. But the reason I got into the challenge was my neighbor was on. It started off. I hate to say this is a little more embarrassing, but I got into the real world towards the tail end because my neighbor went on the real world. Only reason I watched it because I wanted to see him on the show.
Yeah.
Wait,
And
why
I
have you
kinda-
never mentioned this ever?
Yeah, my neighbor went on the real world. He was on Real World Portland.
Huh.
Portland.
Johnny Riley. Look him up. Shout out Johnny Riley.
Wait,
he was
Portland.
on Real World Portland.
You're
Is that
the
from
one-
Portland,
yeah,
Oregon
you're
or Portland,
laptop.
Maine?
I think it was
Because he doesn't live
not
near
me.
either of those.
No, he was from obviously not. They like
Yeah.
fly
Well, yeah, they
them
fly
out.
you out. Yeah.
Hmm.
Interesting.
I would have thought you would have lived near where
I
they
never
go.
want, dude. I never got into like
Nah, me
Jersey
neither.
Shore, any of
Mm-mm.
that real
That's him.
world.
I feel like
That was him on the challenge.
I kind of wish I did
This
because
is
like
the real world that he was on. There he is right there. He started dating this girl. This kid Jordan is like he's on the challenge. He comes on every year. He has like half a hand.
which half?
He's like has like from his He's missing from like his knuckles.
Dude,
Like,
Oh, okay.
I had a baseball coach. Well, he was just like one of the coach. I think he helped out with one of our summer leagues once. They called him Stubba.
Oh
He was
no! Oh
missing his
no!
hand.
Oh,
That's what he would answer to him.
Yeah.
Like, hey, Stubba, and he'd be like, "What's
oh,
up?"
man.
That's what happens when you get bullied.
Yeah.
Start
I felt
thinking. Start
I felt
thinking.
bad. Like I hated even referring to him by his name.
Stubby.
But
But yeah,
You know, good on him for owning that, though.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, no, good for him.
That's
I don't know like the story
that's
behind
Johnny
it or
Bananas
whatever.
if you're
but-
looking for him.
That's crazy.
Johnny Bananas. You've probably seen this guy around.
I didn't know you were like this. I knew you were deep into it. I didn't know you were this deep
Yeah.
into it.
Yeah, I love the.
I hope you
got
get on.
I got hooked
So
on the challenge.
how much have you been watching these shows with no sports?
Well, there hasn't been on. So
Yeah,
like
nothing
Oh,
wrong.
okay.
Big
I don't
Brother,
know.
Big Brother's a live show. So
Okay.
like,
Oh.
so it was supposed to be during the summer, but obviously they haven't. I thought
Oh,
they were
you
gonna.
must be devastated.
I was devastated.
You know what?
You
though?
could easily do that.
I was
though.
gonna
They
say,
could have
it-
quarantined him for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And that's what I
yeah,
thought
you
they were
start
gonna
a
do.
month early and you quarantine him for
Oh.
like 3 weeks to a month beforehand. That way
Yeah.
you know, and then you start and you're fine.
That's why I
Yes,
thought they were
yeah.
going to do All Stars because they already know the people. They don't have to go out and audition
Yeah.
people. They can easily just say, call like a bunch of the fan favorites and be like, hey, do you want to come on again?
Yeah.
Easily, people will come back on. And they could have just said, all right, we're quarantining you for 2 weeks and then you're going in the house.
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's probably the safest place once you're quarantined because
Right.
no
you
one's
can't
coming
leave.
in and out.
Yeah.
So that was devastating. The challenge just ended, so I have been watching that pretty much every week on Wednesday night. And then Survivor ended right at the beginning
Yeah.
of
My
quarantine.
mom was watching that.
That was a good season too. That was all the winners. It was winners at war, so it was like almost every
Boston
single
Rob was on
winner.
it, right?
Boston
Yeah.
Rob was on it. He got voted out pretty early, but
I mean, dude, you're gonna lose if you face that guy. So yeah. I
yeah,
mean,
they wanted to get him out early.
Huh.
Actually, the girl that did she win? No, Tony. Shout out Tony. Tony won. He's like a cop from I want to say New York or something like that.
Jersey.
Jersey.
Tony.
Yeah, he's crazy. He's like a fun Survivor player to watch.
Is he?
But thank you. That's a good. I was glad we brought up the challenge because the Johnny Bananas just won his like 7th title, which is a
Really?
lot. And he
So they just need to rename it the
Jo-
Johnny Banana Show.
well, this is the thing. It was the Johnny Bananas curse because the last time he won it was like I want to say like 7 seasons ago.
Okay.
He went through a long drought and he went out early every season
Really?
because the last season he won. So let me go back. The season before he won, he was partnered. It was Battle of the X's or something like that. And it was the challenge right before the final.
Uh-huh.
And the partners that won the final challenge were going to choose who competed and who went to the end. And it was Johnny's friend Sarah and Jordan. Jordan wanted to vote in the rookies for the end of it just to get them out because they didn't know him. But Sarah was like, I'm going to vote in Johnny because he has a best chance of winning. Makes sense, but they were like best friend. They were good friends, and she threw him in, and he ended up going home. And he was like biggest backstab. I'll never forgive her. Next season, they went rivals, so they were partnered together. So they went through the whole season. They won, but at the last minute, they said whoever finishes the final out of the 2 partners first, who has the best time, can choose. It was for all the couples, but can choose if they keep all the money or they split it with their partner. And he said, I'm taking the money and run, Tej. And TJ Lavin's the host. I don't know. He's a biker, BMX guy.
I don't know.
But I'm taking the money and run, Tej. It was seen as like one of the biggest dirtbag moves of like challenge history. Everyone was like, you're the karma. And he didn't believe it, but he hasn't won since. And he was like, dude, I'm like ready to like quit. Like I'm really feeling down on myself. I'm downing myself because he's 35 now.
Yeah.
Going against like guys that are like 25.
Is Survivor always like kind of like famous people? You said there's a BMX rider.
No,
Oh,
it's all
okay.
mainly like
Okay.
random
Did
people.
you ever watch it when John Hennigan was on it? Remember that name?
Pull him up.
Why is just his
Oh,
name
The
is up
Miz
there.
was on it.
The Miz was on
Miz
it?
was on the challenge.
Because the reason, okay, so the
Oh, I
reason
thought
they're-
you said Survivor. My bad.
Did I say Survivor?
Yeah, you did say the Survivor.
yeah, I
but
mean
knew what you
Survivor.
meant.
What was the Miz on?
The
The
challenge.
challenge.
The Miz was on the challenge?
Yeah.
Is that like how he started?
No, he
No.
he was a wrestler.
Because he used back in the before he wrestled, he
I
was like an
think so.
MTV
He
guy.
might have
Oh, yeah.
been
He was on Real World. He was on Real World.
He was on
That's
Real
what the
World.
challenge was. It was like after like you would go on the Real World. It's like because I found this out from not from the kid, but because he was my neighbor, but like his brother
Uh-huh.
and people that know him. When you sign like with the Real World, you sign a contract for like a certain amount of shows.
Yeah.
So like the first one usually
Oh,
is
like
Real
MTV
World.
can just put you
So
on
you have
whatever.
5, like say 5 shows. So they say, all right, you're going to sign up for the Real World. Then you're going to go on the challenge for maybe a couple
Gotcha.
seasons, or they have like a couple other shows that they have. I don't really know
okay.
those, but
I'll,
I just mess with the.
Yeah.
challenge.
No, I meant John Hennigan because he's coincidentally, John Hennigan is John Morrison, who used to be Johnny Nitro
Yeah.
in wrestling, and he's the Mrs. tag team partner now, which is funny. But he's this guy. He was on Survivor.
He was on Survivor.
He was
I
on
know
Survivor.
him.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
Wait,
Yeah.
they're partners now? I thought they were
Yeah.
partners like mad long
he
ago.
returned, and now they're doing like a reunion like tag team like thing.
Why did I? Oh no,
Yeah.
that was
Oh, it was Eminem.
Mercury and
Yeah,
Nitro.
yeah,
That's what it
yeah.
was. I was thinking it was
His alliance in Survivor was called the Brochachos.
Ochachos.
He's
He's sick.
He
He's
got
he's
blindsided.
awesome.
I liked him up until like 2 seconds before he got voted out, he was like talking like tough, and like the whole time he was like this.
Except he would
guy.
fuck.
Yeah,
anyone.
oh
Oh
my
yeah. Oh,
He's like a parkour guy too. Like, he's
Yeah,
nuts.
He's like ridiculously.
He's
jacked.
sick.
And when he got voted out, though, I liked him again because he was like, "Dude, you got me!" Like it was awesome. Like that was like.
He
I
seems
had
like a
laugh.
nice guy.
He's a
I like
good
him.
dude.
Yeah.
Like he was one of the wrestlers I enjoyed watching on Survivor. Not like that guy.
There's like
that
a
we
couple
talked
other
about.
wrestlers too.
Well,
that were on Survivor, I think.
Football. Jimmy Johnson maybe was on
The
Survivor.
coach?
The coach was on
Really?
Survivor.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They had another guy I couldn't stand, and I like rooted against him, was Scott Pollard.
He played for the Celtics.
He played for
one
the
year.
Celtics in 08 when he won his ring.
I'm trying to think.
And he was on Survivor. He was just a jerk. Like I
Interesting.
hated him. He was just mean. He was just, in the words of Rob Marcello, he was just mean.
Was he a coward?
He was definitely a coward.
trying to think.
He would just put the fire out for the tribe because he was like losing. He was just like a bad.
Who's the
I'll
most?
have, I'll have to at least watch some highlights because I love John Morrison. And I think there's like other like
The
wrestlers on it.
Brochachos.
The Brochachos.
I guess I just typed in notable Survivor alumni, and it came out like who was the most famous coming out of there, not like going in.
Okay.
So
Yeah, there was.
Jimmy
Johnson was probably one of the most famous. You know who else was on it? You would know him. It's a movie guy. Who's the guy that wrote a lot of like the Jack Black movies with him? He was in School of Rock. He was the best friend in School of Rock who like was married to Sarah Silverman. I forget his name.
I'm drawing a blank.
I don't know.
He was in Hot Fuzz as the other dude.
Hold on, School of Rock. Let me look it up.
The listeners are going crazy.
Yeah, they're going
like
crazy.
Screaming.
They're probably like, "This is this guy." Where is it?
School of Rock
IMDb.
cast or
Yeah, I
School
don't
of Rock?
remember. I watched that movie like only
You would know him if you
That's
saw
probably.
him.
If you say his name, I'll know
Say
him.
his name. Simon.
Simon.
No.
Who's Simon?
What's his
Mike
name?
White.
No,
Oh,
that's not who I was
wow.
thinking.
That's
of.
the guy.
Let me see.
He was on. He
Oh, you're talking about.
he was like the real Ned Schneebly.
Oh. okay, I was thinking of
He
something else.
wrote like he helped Jack Black write Macho Libre. He helped write
Ooh, love
School
that
of
movie.
Rock. He like was the writer, and I think he would
Interesting.
do like small roles in the films with
Gotcha,
Jack Black.
yeah.
But
Gotcha.
he was on it, and he actually made it pretty far in the
cool.
show. I was like kind of
That is such a
on him. He's a
person out of left
producer and
field.
writer. That's mainly what he does.
I confused him with the guy that was in Hot Fuzz that looks just like him.
Well,
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
Yeah.
The British dude or whatever.
Yeah, he works with the
Yeah.
other best friend that's a big guy.
He's in a
Those
lot
two.
of stuff. I like him.
Stuff
Whatever his
like
name is.
guys.
I really never took you to be like a huge game show guy.
I
I didn't know
I
any.
Or not even like
love-
game show, like these like extreme like game
I feel like
shows,
it's a
you
cross
know?
between. No, I was joking when I say Steve
it
watched
is
reality,
It
but
is
like
reality TV.
It's a reality
It's reality
game
and
show.
But
sports.
the way I
Yeah.
see it is, it's like, it's reality TV. It
Yeah,
is
right.
reality
But
TV.
it's not the
it's
reality
not,
I was joking
Yeah,
about,
it's not like I firmly believe, because I've done a lot of research on it, because I really love the shows. I don't know so much about the MTV ones, but Survivor and Big Brother are not staged. It's like completely 100%
Yeah.
accurate. It's maybe they edit like a show to like kind of.
I'm sure they like instigate
Yeah,
stuff
they
too.
edit to
like,
push certain narratives and
They
certain
probably
ideas.
like,
yeah.
and they like, if you think about it, it's 24/7 video recording.
Yeah.
For like Survivor, they're recording an hour show in like a 3-day period, 2-day period.
Yeah.
So they're gonna take the highlights. Like Jeff said when he edits, Jeff's Prost, the host.
yeah,
He takes like, if he knows someone's getting voted out, someone that wins the thing, someone that gets in a fight, he'll take clips mainly from those people and make it like their episode.
yeah.
And then the next week,
That
that,
makes sense.
person may not get, like the person that didn't get voted out, obviously, but the person that was like leading the charge, maybe won't get as much screen time because they're going to give the screen time to someone else.
Yeah.
You
So
could
it's-
start a whole another podcast,
Dude,
just like
I
a Big
love
Brother.
Survivor.
Imagine if you had
I'm
a
so
Big
glad
Brother
we're
or
talking-
Survivor podcast.
You know what
That'd
though?
be
It makes
awesome.
sense why you like it because you like gambling, and these have a lot of like
And you're
social interactions
competitive.
with gambling.
I'm competitive.
And well, I was gonna say it
And
also has
social.
elements of sports
Yeah,
and stuff
that's
like
kind
that.
of your
and
two.
social.
Yeah,
It's literally combines a lot of things that you like.
And it's games, like there's puzzles, like Survivor's all, and Big Brother for that matter. It's puzzles,
But
it's
they're also
games, it's
athleticism.
using your brain, it's using athleticism. It's all.
Have you? I guess this is kind of off topic, but I guess during quarantine, I've gotten big into MMA, like huge.
I
yeah,
noticed
man.
you have,
Dude,
but I'm
I've
not
been
big MMA
watching
guy.
like.
Do you watch Joe Rogan does a weekly MMA show
Yeah, with
with
Shab.
yeah.
and Brian Callen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I don't even know. Like I was like, oh, sports are on. Like
Yeah.
I would always like I'd go to my buddies, like we'd throw in for the pay-per-views, but that'd be it. I've watched like every fight night. Like I've gone back, watched old ones. I've been watching like Chael Sonnen's YouTube.
Oh, I love Chael.
Dude, he's got tons of stuff on YouTube, MMA. Brendan Schaub does a bunch of stuff with MMA, whether it be like his food truck diaries or just like he's got like a podcast kind of like this where he's like just talking. It's like all these guys like know so much about it. And I was just trying to like get up to speed and shit. And it's like, dude, the fights have been awesome.
Have you watched
cool.
Chael Sutton's trash talk video, like compilation videos?
No, I haven't.
You need to watch them.
Really?
Those
Some of this stuff is
hilarious.
crazy.
I'll go watch that.
What are they?
tonight,
So they
actually.
what's MMA doing now? It's like no fans, just like fights.
Yeah,
and stuff
So
like
they
that.
they were over on
fights going
Fight
on.
Island.
Oh, yeah.
They got another one this upcoming
We're
Saturday.
on Fight Island.
Who's
Wait, what?
on this?
They
Saturday?
rented out a 10-mile.
Yeah,
like,
we talked about this in the podcast.
We talked. I didn't know what happened.
Yeah,
They
Oh, okay.
opened like a 10-mile radius in Abu Dhabi,
yeah.
like on an island.
I think we talked about it with
Who's this
Jack.
Yeah, it might
Dana?
have
Probably. Who's this
Yeah.
Dana White that did
Yep.
it?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know much about MMA. That's
Yeah.
I
interesting.
don't
Wait, you're
know
right
much
though. I
either.
do remember us talking about the island. That's crazy.
See, I think my first like venture into MMA was Brock Lesnar. Like,
Yeah, that seems like a transition.
08, 09.
After
like,
the injury, after the wrestling,
Yeah, well, because he was the world heavyweight champ
Champion,
until he got
Right.
diverticulitis, and then he
He's an
lost it,
animal, though.
Dude.
Brock
He's
Lesnar's
big.
scary.
is he still around?
He's back in WWE now.
Is he?
Yeah, he kind of
Well-
goes back and forth.
Well, the
Yeah.
thing is also with MMA, like he's getting old enough now where that's going to be tough for him to stay in that kind of physical condition, especially because he's a bigger dude to the point where it's almost a detriment for something like MMA. Because if you get above a certain size and muscle mass, bro, you don't have cardio.
He did a
You're in,
couple.
like, 3 rounds and
He did a
you're
couple of Goldberg matches. They did Brock Lesnar versus Goldberg like twice. It was all
Goldberg's
right.
still doing that?
That was
Not
2
really.
years ago, right? I
I'd
remember.
say something
Yeah.
like that.
'Cause
Yeah,
how old is he now?
older than Brock, probably like
God.
40 or in his 40s. I think Brock's probably 35. Probably.
No, Brock's probably 40.
You think so?
I'd say 42.
Really?
maybe.
I believe it.
I think Brock, because he was like 20 in the, like 22 in the early 2000s when he came out. So maybe he's 40.
Yeah,
I think he could have one more UFC fight.
that'd be cool.
Because they did set up
finale?
him and Daniel Cormier at one
Oh
point.
my god.
He was in the ring.
Honestly,
Cormier would
Cormier will win
destroy
that.
it.
Yeah, 100%.
But
So you guys know a little bit more. Tell me about tell me about in the world, in the eyes of MMA fans. Tell me about CM Punk.
trash.
I
Yeah.
was gonna
Dude,
say,
I was watching.
he's not going to last.
He's already out.
Oh, he's
He had
already, I
2
didn't know
fights,
that.
right?
Yeah, 0-2.
Oh, good.
I watched a video. It was like the last guy that fought CM Punk was like showboating.
Mm-hmm.
So Dana just cut them both. Like,
Oh,
he's
really?
like, Punk doesn't belong here, and this guy's a punk.
Because
Like,
Punk came in kind of like super cocky, right? Like he
Yeah.
came in like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I'm gonna win. This
And the
is
thing
easy."
is, like, I know in wrestling they're very well conditioned, but you're mentally in a whole different world if you're in MMA.
Mm-hmm.
You got to have the right mentality, but also that it's different type of conditioning.
yeah.
And the thing is, he wasn't the right fit for there. He should stay with
Interesting.
wrestling. It makes better sense for him, better fit.
Oh, he's
Yeah.
amazing.
But-
yeah.
And
But
I still
for-
think he comes back to WWE at some
I believe
point.
yeah,
it.
yeah, that's where he belongs. He's great
Yeah.
there. But in MMA, he's gonna get slaughtered by some of these
He
ruthless
did.
guys.
Didn't
And
get
well,
slaughtered.
he did. But like
Yeah.
I was saying, if he tried to continue, if he kept coming back, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Interesting.
Cut your losses there, dude. You tried. Now give him credit for trying.
Yeah.
But no.
Interesting.
I gave or not gave. I always watch the Joe Rogan like clips,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and one of them literally came up last night. It was like talking about CM Punk, and the caption was like "CM Punk sucks." It's funny that you asked that.
That's crazy.
But no, there's like Lashley was the Bellator World Heavyweight Champion.
Oh yeah.
That's why if
He's
there's
another brute.
they
Oh my
want
they want a Lesnar versus Lashley.
Lesnar versus
fight.
Lashley
Whoa,
would be
that-
nuts.
MMA, I think it'd be cooler MMA just to see them
I agree
actually
with
beat
that.
the shit
I
out of
agree
each
with
other.
that,
But
yeah.
I'll be honest. Lashley is scary.
I
Like,
think
that
Scary dude. He has
I think
his
he would-
eyebrows are tattooed on.
I'll be honest with you. I don't.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know
Does he
why.
have alopecia or whatever?
He might have something,
Maybe.
some hair loss thing,
Yeah.
but he has eyebrows. Are
I'll be
tattoos.
real. I would probably put my money on Lashley over Brock.
So would
even
I.
on the big. Okay, so we're on
At
the
this
same-
point, yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Depends on if Brock has the beard or not. Beard Brock is scary.
yeah.
Beard
Dude,
Brock
I
is
mean,
scary.
it like
kids.
I know.
It-
So now I'm just.
it is
Don't take
like
me seriously
it's
now.
weird though, because like Brock was 5-3 in the UFC, but you got to realize like he was the world heavyweight champion, and then he got diverticulitis and lost 40 pounds,
Yeah.
and he lost his title to Cain Velasquez, who's like widely
Oh.
considered the greatest heavyweight of all time. So it's not like he lost to some scrub.
Yeah.
And he lost to Frank Mir. Frank Mir's a beast. He beat Mir too. So it's like Mir just caught him in a leg lock. It happens.
He was better that day.
Yeah.
He happened to be better that day.
And then Lesnar knocked him out the next time they fought. So
something a little off base, but this made all this wrestling talk got me thinking of it, and not to pivot too much. Gronk. I gotta get the
Gronk with where are you going with this?
The Gronk reaction from Jack.
Oh, I was
95 on Madden.
Oh, that is garbage,
that
dude.
I 100% agree with you.
Not to pivot too much, but I thought of like the Gronk.
I love Gronk.
No, please. We need to
I
pivot
think
out of
Gronk is going to exceed expectations this year.
Oh,
he will never have a more open field than with Mike Evans and Godwin on the outside, Cameron Brate, and whatever if OJ Howard's there, OJ Howard can play.
Yeah.
Plus, Brady and him have chemistry already, so they can take everything they've done up here in New England to here.
Yeah.
But that being said, he's not a 95 anymore.
He's higher than Zach Ertz.
It doesn't make sense.
I think Ertz is a little overrated.
I
don't think Ertz
is the third best.
Yes, I agree.
Third best.
Yeah.
Third best.
Yeah, I would say he's the third
to
best.
fourth, you can
But
argue,
I saw a lot of people being like, "Well, if Kittle's a 98 and
I have no problems with Kittle being a 98.
I don't either.
No.
Kittle is the closest thing that
Gronk.
we've seen to Gronk. Yes.
Yeah.
And
in some ways better though, because he's not as injury prone.
So far, he's young.
yeah,
He's
so
young,
far.
He's more consistent. So
Kelsey is
I would say
Kelsey's
he's up there.
second at 97.
97. Yep.
I can see that.
I don't think Ertz should be in that stratosphere.
Yeah,
I think
Ertz is
90 is
at
where
90.
he should be.
I think that's where
a lot of people were saying he should be like a 95. And
No.
I think
stick
Ertz
him
should
at
be a
90 and stick Gronk around 90 or 88 as
I think
well.
Mark Andrews should have been an 89. I think Gronk should have been at most an 85. At
Wow.
most.
Oh, that's low. I would put him 88 to be honest with you.
When
88,
most.
89.
My brother actually asked me this yesterday. He was like,
Yeah.
what would you have put him at? And I said 85.
85.
Yep, somewhere in that ballpark I'm fine with.
I would have
And
been
something to
fine with
consider is
85.
look, if we were talking 3 years ago, 4 years ago,
99.
yeah. But bro, he hasn't been playing for what, 2 years now, and plus all his injuries and everything else. He's
I
getting older.
think
In his last year, he wasn't that good.
No.
he was.
he was still good.
He wasn't. He wasn't a 90.
We don't win that
it
Super
was,
Bowl
it
without
was a
him.
noticeable
That's true.
drop off
He
in
was-
his performance.
Even though the stats didn't back it up, if you look
Was he a
at his
95?
No.
if you look at his overall impact on the game, he didn't have the receiving stats, but he was an extra lineman out there. He literally was.
All right, give him a 95 on blocking if you want to do that. At blocking, put him
I'm
on.
agreeing with you though. He's
Yeah.
not a 95
No.
in that.
Not right.
Does that-
Austin Hooper too. Austin Hooper before his injury was the best tight end last year in football, next to Travis Kelce.
Yeah, he was playing well.
He was
but
playing better than George Kittle last year before he got hurt.
But I don't think Austin Hooper's going to keep that up, dude. There's too many mouths to feed in Cleveland.
Correct. But I think he would have been. I think he's higher. I think he should be like a 99, like low 90s.
I thought Darren Waller was way too low.
I
10th?
completely agree.
You're trying to say he's the 10th best? Like, I get he's only been there 1 year.
Right.
But he was.
He had a great year.
He was probably like fourth if it cuts.
Greg Olsen. This is
Olsen's old.
Yeah, Greg Olsen.
What are they
No, that's what I'm
Olsen
saying. Darren Waller shouldn't have been lower than Greg Olsen.
I'm trying to think. What
Jared Cook.
What'd they
Evan
put-
Ingram. Evan Ingram has played like 6 games in the last
Yeah.
like 2 years. So like,
See, I don't
Why
know.
is
It's-
Ingram that high? That makes no sense.
he is a stud when he's playing, but he doesn't. He's too injury
But
prone.
maybe they're not. That's the thing. They're not taking that into account, though. They're saying when they play. These are their stats, not the overall.
If that's what you're going off of, then all right. Because Gronk is still Gronk.
when he plays, he's. But all I'm saying is,
I have Earth take Quake right here. When he's healthy,
just to be clear, when you say Earth take,
it's
Quake,
not an Earth take Quake, but
When you say Quake, do you mean take or
Yes,
is
sorry.
do you
Earth-
say Quake? You said
Earthquake
it like
take.
what? I thought I said
Take-
Earthquake take.
Yeah, you did.
I thought you said
Earthquake
Earth take Quake.
I heard earthquake take. I don't
Either
know.
way.
Oh, I don't know.
I
I
don't
could
know.
I could have said it wrong.
Rewind the
but-
tape.
I think when healthy, Gronk is a top 3 receiving option of all time. Wide receiver, tight end, like separate.
in history or like right now.
Oh, and hit like for his career.
Okay, I would.
That's tough. Top 3. If you said
But
top 5 or 6,
If you think all around, his impact blocking.
You know what though? If you're going by the avenue of his impact and or utility in a game, talk about the amount you could do with one player. I'm with you. But if you're talking about just receiving or just any one thing, I think there's people that can do that better. But if you're talking about the
I'm
most
saying,
utility out of one
yes.
player offensively that's not a quarterback,
yes,
I'm with you.
I would say the only two I'd put above him.
You can
I
argue
wouldn't even
him
put
but-
Jerry above him, to be
Jerry
honest.
Rice? I'd put him above him.
You have to put him
You
above
have to
him.
put him ahead.
But
of
like,
him.
if I'm going like anyone, their
I would say
athletic
that.
ability,
I could say Gronk is top 3.
athletic ability and everything, I'd probably go Randy Moss, Julio Jones, Gronk. Like
I wouldn't put Julio
I-
Jones that high.
I'll be honest.
Dude, Julio is very good blocking.
No, I'm saying that I just think overall, if you're looking at overall,
Yeah.
he hasn't. I mean, he did make a big plays in that Super Bowl, but I think you need to do. I think he needs to. I don't know. I think
guess-
he has to do it in bigger spots. I mean, the part of that is because his team doesn't win.
Let me
but-
also preface that I do think Jerry Rice is the second best receiver of all time.
Yeah.
I'm a Randy Moss guy.
Yeah.
I think Randy Moss is a
Shout out to Garrett Davis. He's
Jared Davis.
Yeah.
big Drag Race fan, right? That's what he said.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Rice, yeah.
but like when you don't get me wrong, he was a freak too, but like when you have Randy Moss, you have Julio Jones and like Gronk, like athletically he doesn't really match up.
But Gronk
He does, but he doesn't.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I would put Gronk in top 3 there. I think.
Even if you don't agree with top 3, he's definitely top 10.
Yeah.
At
Well,
least in my
that's
opinion.
obvious. I think the
Yeah.
argument for people might be top 5
Yeah.
in that realm, but anything above that's
Dude, he
hard
can
to-
catch anything. He's
Yeah.
bigger, stronger, faster. Than
But that's the
every
thing.
single
Like,
person.
he's too big for a safety or linebacker or cornerback.
And he's
Too
quick.
fast for a linebacker. Like
Yeah.
there are how many times is there someone that if you match him up one-on-one, you are confident is going to
Yeah.
shut
No.
him
It's
down?
going to him
Nobody.
100% of the time.
No one's going to win 100%. Do you
No, the
like?
ball's going to
Oh,
him.
yeah.
Like if you have Gronk on a one-on-one, Brady's throwing the ball to Gronk every single time.
There are very few people in recent memory that I can think of. Like Cam Chancellor's one, but Cam Chancellor was a freak.
Yeah.
It was huge.
But even that, he still has a higher than 50% chance against literally anybody, I feel.
Kuechly it was fast enough to keep up with
Kuechly
him.
Wow.
But Kuechly's one of the best, I think, linebackers I think we've seen.
I do
in
too.
In
recent memory.
In recent
Of the
memory,
2010s, he is the best linebacker.
Yeah.
No
BC
doubt in my
product.
mind.
Shout out BC.
Yeah. Shout out Ty. Yep.
Are there recent pictures of like Gronk? Because he's slimmed
He's
down the
slimmed
past
He's
few
slimmed
years.
down,
I'm
but-
curious where he's at now.
My guess, he was probably around 245, 250. Because he said all he needed was 1 month to get into shape.
Interesting.
Because you got to think like,
Yeah, he's just gonna bulk up
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
work out.
True.
plus he doesn't have to be ready for week 1.
Yeah. Well, we
Like-
said that
I mean,
we had this debate last week. I think or a couple weeks ago when Cam first signed. Who do you think plays more games, Gronk or Cam?
Cam.
Yeah,
Um,
100%.
It's close.
Cam still needs to win the job.
He needs to win the.
I think he will win the job, but he needs to win it. That
Yep.
being said, assuming he wins it, I'd go with Cam
Right.
Yeah.
over Gronk.
I-
Because they're going to give Gronk rest games, I
Yeah.
think.
Of
I think
course.
so too.
Because they need him for postseason. He's the most effective postseason.
Dude, I, like, last year, I was a firm, like, believer in sign Gronk, put him in the IR, have him come off the playoffs.
You drafted him in the last round.
I did.
Or late in
Yeah.
late.
I think it was the
class.
15th round.
Someone did that in our league too.
I
Gronk.
drafted Gronk in, like, every round.
Yeah. Not to pivot. We're at an hour. You want to jump into people's topic?
Yeah.
Down,
Sure.
down.
That's all, I didn't want to break up the
I
flow,
did- I-
but
No, but
I
we can
kind of
do it.
want to hear your take on the baseball thing too.
yeah, no, finish. Keep
Yeah.
going. I just want to
What are we
say
at,
where
an
we're
hour?
at. At an
Yeah,
hour.
around an hour.
Okay.
Yeah,
We
whatever.
can go a little over with
yeah.
our guy Jackie. You know.
Now, one thing I wanted to talk to you, Jack, about because we've had some debates over Hall of Fame talks,
Oh.
and it stemmed with the Dustin Pedroia debate.
Which
Where-
I think if he didn't get hurt, he would have had a good chance at the Hall of Fame. But just to fill the people in, I do not think he makes it now.
Really?
But looking at I think, and this may just be the Boston person in me, I
Yeah.
think he does make it because he's got back-to-back Rookie of the Year and MVP awards. He has 4 Gold Gloves. He's one of the best. He pioneered, I think, the position of second base, like small little power guys. I think that was like he was one of the prototypes for like a Jose Altuve
Yes.
type player. Joey Votto plays first, but small power guys. You know what I mean?
I agree.
And it says on Baseball Reference, which we talked about, he's a 2-time World Series champ. It should say more than that because
He played in
He-
2. That's how I look at it.
He played in 2, but he was on.
Is Jimmy G a 2-time Super Bowl champ for you?
But he played. He won the ring. He was with the team the whole year. I'd give him the ring. I'd give him the ring.
Okay, so
But
with
he
that
didn't
logic,
earn it, though. Is
yes.
what you're
But
getting
like
at,
with
yeah.
that logic, yes.
How do you say he didn't earn it? He helped the team. He helped his team prepare.
No. What I'm getting at, if he's getting at that, is like, do you really consider?
He helped the defense prepare. He went after the defense.
He had 20 at bats last year, and he had a negative wins above replacement.
He was.
That was 2019. What was 2018? Sorry.
Yeah, you can't look at 20.
2018, he had 11 at bats.
No, he had 11 at bats.
And what was his wins above replacement? Does it say?
I can't see it.
Well, he hit .091.
See, that's not, how many people start off with 11 at bats? I don't think.
No, and don't get me wrong.
I don't think you should take these last 2 years into account really that much, because it really, if you look at the bulk of his career, like what he did, it's pretty spectacular. Numbers he had.
He had a great career, but he didn't have the longevity to get into the Hall of Fame, is what I think is going to hold him
Is that a
back.
criteria, though?
Longevity hurts, but I don't think no one says like you have to play for this amount of years to make it to the Hall of Fame.
Like when's the last time you've seen someone play 10 years? And
What-
because realistically, if you take off the last 2 years, 07 was his rookie of the year, so 17 would have been the last year he played.
Yeah, I mean he got some at bats in 06, but
Yeah, but he was a rookie in 2007.
yeah, so he played like for 10 years. 10,
So,
10 11.
I just don't think he. Believe me, I'd love to see him in
He
the Hall
on a
of Fame.
silver slugger too. The gold, like his Gold Glove. It's like we talk about all around players. He was one of the best bats in the game during that time.
Yes, I
was
also
one-
think what hurts him though is he was never. First of all, second basemen are kind of not afterthoughts, but like you get what I'm saying when I say that.
I don't think that's what I think. I think Pedroia. When you thought of Red Sox, obviously you thought about Big Papa.
Yes.
There's no getting around that.
Yes.
But the next name I would think of during like the 07 time, next to like I mean,
I would think Josh Beckett.
Josh Beckett was in 07,
Yeah.
but
Lester.
I put Pedroia ahead of Lester.
Fair, I guess.
And I love Lester.
Yeah, Lester's one of my all-time
favorite
favorites.
players. I drafted him in the
Lester
all-time
is
team.
my favorite pitcher of all time.
See, mine's
Really?
Kurt. I love Kurt.
No, I'm
Pedro.
a Lester guy.
Pedro. I gotta go Pedro on that. But
Oh my.
no, man.
But like, I think Pedroia is kind of like Nomar in a sense that they were both had like really, really good starts of their career. Nomar was definitely on his way to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
I think Nomar would have had a better case than Pedroia.
I think he's in. Right? Isn't he in the
No.
Hall of Fame?
No way.
I'm pretty sure.
I
he's
don't
in
think
the Hall
Nomar
of Fame.
How is he
is.
not?
I'm pretty sure he is.
Because he only had a 6-year span where he was like really, really good, and then he just fell off.
Yeah, but see, okay, maybe that's something with baseball that
Voters-
I find weird.
Like,
Is
I think the two things that are going to hold Pedroia back are he didn't have that 300 batting average, which we talked about earlier, how he lost it last year, and he didn't get 2,000 hits.
is that 300 batting average like an informal kind of formal?
No,
like,
but it
hey-
would have helped being at the.
Okay.
Also, I don't do the deep analytics that a lot of people do now.
Yeah.
So some people might be like, "You're an idiot," and I just go off base. I've been watching baseball for almost 20 years.
Exactly,
Like,
same.
I think he was definitely on his way. I just don't think.
I just think based on if I looked at, you're right, the longevity is going to be the one like crutch on his like X against his career.
Yeah.
But looking at the years he did play and when he was like prevalent in the game, you look at like I said, rookie of the year back to back with the MVP. He had out of the 10 years you say like he played, 40% of those were all-star appearances.
Yeah.
Along with a couple World Series titles. He won 4 Gold Gloves and a Silver Slugger. And I get it. The 299 we were talking about before, that kind of stinks. But I just think, like, there's a lot of guys that are under 300, and I get that 300 would have helped.
I also think, so one of, like, the wins above replacement, I think the bottom person in the Hall of Fame is, like, 62. So that's a significant drop-off.
Yes, but what my point I was going to make was, like I said, people getting Dave Griffin, even though we'll comment on Dave
Coward.
Coward for saying
Dave Coward Griffin.
First.
Pete Rose deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. Pound sand, pal.
He has the most hits in the. That's we were talking about the person who has the most hits, strikeouts, and home runs is not in our Hall of Fame.
Yes.
Unreal.
Trash.
But I look at Dave made a good point. People that changed the game or made an impact on the game. I think Dustin Pedroia made a huge impact on the game because he made every time you think of like a player, you never thought of the best player being 5'9" and 175
I
pounds.
will say one thing that I think hurts him is how many great second basemen played during his time. You could argue Cano and Kinsler are better than him.
I wouldn't say Kinsler's better.
Yeah, look at the numbers, dude.
I know, but
he was like a 280, 30 home run Gold Glove guy every year.
I don't know. I'd say
Cano was no doubt.
Cano was no doubt. I have no doubts on that.
And and don't get me wrong, like I love Pedroia. I just don't see him getting in the Hall of Fame.
I think it's going to be, again, I would put him in the Hall of Fame, but I see what you're saying. I think a lot of people voting. I don't know how people vote.
Also, with the way that the voters are, like, do we really think he won't be a first ballot Hall of Famer?
I don't think so.
And I think, but that's, again, if you're not a first ballot Hall of
Famer,
this
debate again.
It's like, are you really going to wait 10 years?
What are you doing in year 2 to make the next years to
I get some, but like even past 5, like if you're not a Hall of Famer, you're not a Hall of Famer.
Well, I don't even get past, like I get it from the point like these voters don't know what they're doing and they take personal vendettas against these players like Curt Schilling.
Curt Schilling is a absolute no-brainer to be in the Hall of Fame.
I was looking at the numbers the other day and someone told me that who is a baseball guy, said he didn't think Curt Schilling should be in the Hall of Fame.
I think he absolutely should. He is one of the best playoff performers ever.
Yeah, he has a World Series MVP, NCLS MVP. He has 3 World Series, 2 with different teams.
Did he get that? No. Who got the ALCS in 04? Was that Manny?
I think it was Manny.
Was it?
Manny got it. Just, and like you said, big, like the history, the story behind it, like playing on a hurt ankle, breaking the curse, being the main, next to Pedro, him and Pedro were like the main gunslingers in that on that team. And training Josh Beckett, like he was a role. Like I just think that
if he never went on his crazy political stuff,
he would be in the Hall of Fame. First ballot.
Yeah,
I think he would have been first ballot.
I think
I'd have to go back and look at like who was.
If
on
I
was,
ballot. Yeah, it
but
really
again,
depends.
That doesn't matter. I don't think that should matter who's in your Hall of Fame.
But when you
class.
only have so many votes a year, if I was the committee, you'd have all the eligible people be like, who do you think is a Hall of Famer?
Right.
If they get the votes, they're in.
Right.
Like, some years there's going to be 0. Some years there's going to be
right. I don't
7.
think there's a problem with having 0 people in the Hall of Fame
either.
that year. I don't.
If they earn it, they earn it.
Right.
And that's kind of.
But I get why they have the 10 years thing because we have these voters. For some reason, these
like
people,
Larry Walker. Wasn't that his 10th year?
That was his 10th year.
Which I think Larry Walker's probably a Hall of Famer, but he's like, again, he's not someone that you think
That's
of as a Hall of Famer.
Probably a Hall of Fame. We had this debate with Dave. I think Curt Schilling deserves it more than Larry Walker.
Yeah, I think
I would have put him in.
I think Schilling's out because of political reasons.
That's the only reason.
Why I think he's not in.
But I think this brings up something that I know I brought up about 2 months ago in the podcast, which is what is the criteria? What is the standard?
We'll never
people are
find
looking
out.
at?
Well, there is no. It's like.
But hear me out. What I'm saying is, at least if you can get some sort of idea, you can at least have a talking point or something to pivot on. But it seems like there's some players that obviously should be in. That's no contest, no debate.
I think it's.
But there's some that are in there that really shouldn't.
It's going to be a changing of the guard when, I mean, I hate to say this, when all the, I guess, older reporters retire or die off or whatever.
Right.
You get this upcoming,
Retire.
then they'll look at the analytical class. And I think analytics might have a better case for Pedroia than the people that just look at the numbers.
All right.
And, sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
And I was going to say, the final point is, you have to look at least with the Hall of Fame. It is also about people that change fundamental parts of the game and really set new standards. And if you're talking about Pedroia in that case, or you're talking about changing something where nobody was looking at guys like him before like that, and he set a new bar, that's going to be something that's very influential. Exactly. So,
real quick, because we're running high on time, I'm going to give, like we said, Hall of Fame should be gut-wrenching reactions. First reaction is the Hall of Fame. We have a say on the show. If we have to think about it,
it's a no.
It's a no, or cut it. So, first gut reaction. Some of these guys are too early, I think. This is a list of active players. Like the first one, Zach Greinke. Is he a Hall of Famer right now, yes or no?
Right now, I don't think so.
I
think he has to have a couple more good years.
Yeah, I'd go no. I think he's young. James?
I'll agree.
Joey Votto.
Yes.
Okay.
He's been a model of consistency since 06.
The one thing that I think is going to hurt him, and I get it, it's not. I get it. It's like not everyone does it, but I think he needs and it's partially on the team. And he's being loyal, but he needs a ring. I want to.
I think baseball is like baseball. You can't really, because like it's such a team sport.
Yeah, that's true.
Like it's
Mike
not,
Trout. Mike Trout may never win a ring.
Mike Trout
which
is the greatest player.
He is
to
the
ever
greatest
play.
player.
Yeah.
Hands down.
I think he's already a top 10 player. Like
Without a doubt.
I argue he's top 5, especially.
I think he's the greatest player ever to play the game of baseball.
I think right now it's still Griffey or Bonds. It really depends on who you take.
Wait, Bonds isn't in the Hall of Fame though. So how can he be one of the best players if he's not in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah. Barry Bonds is a Hall of Famer.
Right.
Roger Clemens is a Hall of Famer. All of them are.
Okay. So Yadier Molina.
Yeah. I think catchers are different standards than most. And I think he is so elite at what he does.
That's a valid point. I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
He's like a leader of that team. I would say yes to him. Now those were like the likely list on this double sports page.
Oh.
Borderline Hall of Famers. This is where it's going to get kind of hairy. Cole Hamels. I'm a no.
Gut says no, yeah.
I'm a no. If you had to think about it, you got to say no. Cole Hamels,
no opinion. Don't know enough.
Cole Hamels, no. John Lester.
If you're
This is tough for me.
it's tough for me. If you're taking playoffs, he is a machine in the playoffs. So,
And he's got the no-hitter, too, with him.
yes, I think it's more.
Rings.
I
He's got
think,
rings.
yeah, he does. He's got 3 rings, right? Yeah. 2 with the Sox and 1 with
07,
the
13, and the one with the
Yeah,
Cubs. So he's got 3 rings, 2 different teams, which I think shows something. If you go to 2
It
teams
shows
and
it's
win,
him.
yeah.
I think he's got a better chance than Hamels. I don't think he's a lock. I think he needs a couple more years.
Yeah.
A couple more good years.
So as of now,
But he's
no.
old too. I don't think you're gonna.
He was like 4th in Cy Young voting last year.
Really?
I
Good
think
for
so,
him.
yeah.
I hope so.
I
love
could be
Lester.
wrong. That could have been the year before, but
And we're voting as if they should be inducted like now,
Right
not
now.
in the future.
Right now.
Yeah.
So I say yes to John Lester.
Seems
He's got the
yes-
rings. He's got
I think it
the
also.
no hitter.
I also think it
dominant.
depends on who's voting him in and when he retires, because he's not eligible.
If
for
you're
5
retired now.
but he's still not.
No, I'm
eligible
saying if
for
we're
5
voting
years.
right now. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It ended and we're saying, is he a Hall of Famer right now? Not waiting the 5 years and who's voting. Just if
I'm
we're
hesitating, so I guess it's a no.
Oh, it's tough.
It's
I
tough,
understand.
dude.
I understand why. I think that's true. Felix Hernandez.
Yes.
We had this debate before too. Felix Hernandez. I think it was on shout out the water cooler. We had we had this debate.
Did we talk about Felix?
We did talk about
Was it
Felix.
Felix? All right.
It's tough, man. I think how dominant he is. But I think it's like you said, going to be tough.
I think he's a case of where if they just look at win-loss, it's going to kill him.
Right.
But then again, look how nasty he was. He was 13-12 and won the Cy Young because he had a 2 ERA.
Right.
He's just a product of awful teams. The
Yeah.
Mariners haven't made the playoffs in 19
Right.
years. Like, you can't hold
That's
that
not his
against him.
fault. So
Is he a multi-time Cy Young?
I think so. Let me look it up.
No.
No, I don't want to look it up. It should say here.
It just said 1, it looks like.
Cy Young in a Cy Young award, so just 1.
Yeah.
6 All-Star appearances. Yeah, I got it. 2,000 strikeouts. I got to give it to him.
Yeah.
Plus, he just signed in Atlanta. He's still young enough, dude.
He's still young enough to go.
I think he's
well.
probably,
I didn't know he signed with
34 right
Atlanta.
now? Yeah.
In the show.
Oh, no, he opted out of this year,
Oh,
right?
really?
Yeah,
He might
I
have
think
opted
so.
out. In the show, I picked him up for the Sox, and he was my 5th starter.
Yeah, I think he opted out.
Buster Posey.
Yes.
Yes.
I think, like I said,
100%. And
he won an
3 World
MVP,
Series.
right?
And an MVP.
Yeah. I think catchers are
Batting
different.
title, Rookie of the Year. Absolutely.
Catchers are different, and I think, is absolutely.
Nelson Cruz.
I think he needs to get to 500.
Yeah.
I don't know
These
what
are
he's
the
at.
steroid guys. We love
What's he
steroid
at? He's
guys.
at 401 right now. Cruz can. You give him 3 more years, he can get 100.
This is written. This is written in January.
Yeah.
So yeah. Robinson Cano.
Yes.
I think yes. He's
Yeah.
one of the greatest second
Yes.
basemen. Yes. Ryan Braun.
No.
No, absolutely not. Just short. Evan Longoria.
I agree, just short.
Oh,
Pedroia,
Dustin.
just short.
Corey.
Kluber didn't get, I guess, electric till too late in his career.
Yeah.
He's got a brilliant 5-year run he's been
Yeah.
on, except for I think last year. But
he was
you can't put
too short.
Yeah.
Too short of a run. Paul Goldschmidt.
Nope.
Nope. Emlyn Carson.
If Encarnacio gets to 500, he's probably close enough. Dude,
What
he's
is
been
it?
hitting
No.
dingers since 06.
414. He needs if he hits the
3 more
500
years,
yeah.
bro.
If he hits the 500 club, I think that's a good.
Yeah.
That's what it says actually in this thing. 500. Andrew McCutcheon. That's a sad. I don't think he does.
I don't either.
But it's
McCutcheon.
sad because I think he was like projected to be one of the greatest. Like one of the greats.
Yeah.
That's sad. But he has a new life and a new team. So
Yeah, we'll see how he does in Philly.
Josh Donaldson.
No.
No.
I think at his peak, he's a Hall of Fame talent, but I
Yeah.
don't think he's a Hall of Famer.
Is there anyone you can think of that was the end of that list?
I mean, you got your obvious ones: Verlander, Kershaw.
Yeah, but those are all
Yeah,
like
Trout.
Carrera,
Yeah.
Pool Hose,
Miggy, yeah.
Yeah, Kershaw, yeah, all those guys.
Okay, here's one for you guys. You have to pick one player, we'll say age 25 or younger. You have to put money on to make the Hall of Fame right now. Who are you putting it on?
MLB
Yes.
25 and I don't. I'm gonna go.
I have no idea who to pick on that.
I'll say one. I got 2 guys that I think are gonna make it, and they're both on the. Well, we can go. Do we want to go obvious with like Mookie?
He's not under.
He's not under 25.
28.
28. I'm going. My man at third. Devers.
Dever? No, I'm not talking on the Red Sox. I'm talking.
I think he's a talent.
No,
I
yeah.
think he has an unbelievable bat. The other guy I was thinking of, I don't know if he's under 25, but I think Bogues is one of the most influential players on the Red
Who's
Sox team.
Xander?
Yeah.
I think he's like 27.
Yeah, I think
But
he was under
he's
25.
one of the most. I think he's one of the most underrated and
Yeah.
great. I think he's the face of the Red Sox. To be
I do
honest with
too.
you, but I got to go with Devers.
I got
no idea
2
to
in
pick.
mind, and I'm gonna wait to hear what everyone says, and then I'll go.
I'll be honest, I have no clue to pick.
All right, that's fair.
20. Hold on.
You got one?
Yeah, right
No
now. I was
clue
gonna go
on
Mookie. I didn't know he was 27.
I'm gonna go with
Hold on. 5.
Juan Soto.
I was gonna go Benny Biceps too. He's 26.
No, dude, I want
I
to
don't really
trade
know.
Benny Biceps, bro.
Yeah, Matty P won. Shout out Matty P. He hates Benny.
I like Benny,
Really?
but if he doesn't improve by this point, trade him for young pitching.
Agreed.
MLB players. I would go Soto or Acuna.
Acuna is a good one.
I think Soto has higher upside. I think Acuna's better right now. I think Soto has the best upside, though. I mean, I said that right.
I want to go to the top of the thing.
Ooh, Tatis is nasty, too.
I thought Devers in there. Juan Soto third. Acuna. Who's number 1? Cody
Oh.
Bellinger. Cody Bellinger.
I forgot Belly was under 25.
Acuna. He's a special
But it's
talent.
like,
I forgot Juan Soto was under 25. He's young.
dude,
Yeah.
Juan Soto turned 21 during the World Series.
Yeah.
He should be a World Series MVP, too.
Yeah.
He got robbed, I think.
Looking at some of these guys.
Torres. Shane Bieber's flying under the
Yeah.
radar.
Uh,
Soroka, I think, is going to fall off.
Yeah.
I think Tatis is nasty. Austin Meadows is under the radar nasty. Eloy, I expect to break
Yeah.
out.
So with that said, I think you started our ball rolling because you gave us a topic. We're gonna get to one of our last segment and one of our favorite segments, the people's topic.
The people's topic.
So for people's topic, as always, we go to you write in on Instagram, Twitter at Big Red Zone. Any topics you want us to talk about at any point of the week, feel free to write in. So without further ado, producer John.
Now,
Take it
these
away.
just gut reactions.
Gut
Yeah,
reactions.
Gut
First,
reactions.
first time we're reading
Yeah.
them.
Do it up.
First one comes from. He wrote in, I think, the last 2 weeks at Joseph_Celia. I feel bad 'cause you keep writing in. I guarantee I get his last name wrong
Yeah.
every time. He asks, "What's worse right now, being a Knicks fan or being a Lions fan?"
Knicks. James Dolan is the worst owner in sports. And maybe Dan Schneider, but
Dan
Bottom
Schneider.
two.
Dan Schneider is a jerk. Did you
Yeah.
hear the story that he makes everyone call him Mr. Schneider?
I did
Even
not know
like
that.
his kids' friends.
That doesn't
parents
surprise
is
me.
Like he makes them call him Mr.
But
Schneider.
yeah, I would definitely rather be
A Lions
a
fan.
Lions fan than.
Now, call me crazy, because I agree. Dolan is like a cancer to that organization. I think I'd rather be a Knicks fan. Only to the point is their market, I feel like it's easier to get people there. Like, there's already been rumors with, like, Chris Paul wants to go to New York. Like, I think you have a better
So what you're talking
chance.
about is, like, the Knicks eventually.
I think the
becoming.
Knicks have, and if I'm, like, want to be a fan of.
Being
like,
a fan right now.
The Lions, I think, have no shot. Like, I love Matthew Stafford.
But, like, that's the thing. Lions always start off 500. They have a couple good games, then Stafford gets hurt. And that's when you're like, oh.
But
They have a chance of turning that around if
Exactly,
they get somebody else
dude.
than
But they don't
Stafford.
have it, and I think Matt Patricia isn't as good as we thought he was going to be.
But he's not the worst, though, in the NFL.
I just feel like, also with game-wise, basketball is so different than football. Basketball, you can get like two guys that are really good, and you're automatic. In the East, you're a playoff team.
Yes.
So I feel like if it depends on what you're looking for.
I think if you're looking and taking everything into account, though, with ownership, with current players, with future whatever.
They have a lot of assets to trade away.
Would you rather be caught with walk down the street with a Knicks shirt or a Lions shirt right now?
Probably Knicks, because I'd have an OG Mello.
Oh, well, that's a good answer then.
Yeah.
I was
I'm also
just
a
trying to
big-
make it easier for you.
Shout out to my
because-
fantasy football team, Stafford and Sons. I'm a big Matt Stafford guy.
All right, choose real quick. Choose.
I said the Knicks.
Oh, you said the Knicks, James.
I'm going Lions.
Yeah, I'd rather be Lions.
Yeah. Okay.
Because no, I think the question was, what's worse
right
yeah,
now?
okay, so
Knicks
Knicks
or
is the
Lions?
worst.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And you think it's
I-
Lions,
yeah.
we think it's Knicks.
Gotcha. Okay. Second question comes from @bfried7. He asked, "What's a bigger weakness for the Sox this year? Their starters or their bullpen?"
Bullpen.
They don't have starters.
They don't have starters?
They don't have a starting.
Someone
You
just
can
got
go
announced
both
today.
You can go both ways with this.
Who is their ace right now for opening day is Nathan Eovaldi.
Eovaldi is a dark horse Cy Young candidate. You're telling me,
What?
dude? He has to go out and perform for 60 innings. That's what you get in a good year,
60 innings.
bro. If he could make 10 starts this year, and
It is true. Like this year is different because you forget it's only 60 games.
Yeah. also thank God Chris Sale got the surgery already.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I am so happy he's going to be back for next year, and this was
Yeah.
the season he missed.
Right. Exactly.
Mookie's going to be back next year as well as Alex Cora.
Alex Cora. I was gonna get to that.
I'm like, if Alex Cora is not the manager next year, I'll be shocked. I will absolutely, I'm convinced he's coming back.
I hope you're right.
But going back to the question, I do think it's probably going to be the starters. Although I do like the kid they just picked up.
From the
Was
Houston?
it Gallon?
From Houston?
Okay, yeah.
Gallon or whatever his name
Guy
is?
from Houston?
I think it was Arizona.
Yeah.
Was it?
They got a grab from Houston.
No, that was Colin McHugh.
Yeah, McHugh.
No. They just signed someone that got released the other
really?
day.
I don't know.
I like him, but I do think Workman was lights out last year.
And they got a lot of young guys.
Matt Barnes, dude, if you take out his June from last year, he was unbelievable. He just has that one bad month every year. It's like same like David Price.
Yeah. And they have a bunch of good guys, young guys like Tanner Houck. Weber. Weber's probably going to be started. But
Darwinson Hernandez is nasty.
I worked in Pawtucket last year, so I saw a lot of these guys
Yep.
in the clubhouse. And Darwinson is nasty. Tanner Houck is nasty.
He's nasty.
There's a couple other guys I'm forgetting. The couple guys that were up for most of the year last year because their bullpen was horrible.
Yeah.
You don't forget. Hopefully, you get a bounce back year from Brazier.
Brazier, yep, was just about to say that.
They got some decent. I don't think they added. Their bullpen's not good by any means. Not great by any means. But they got a lot of young talent and a lot of guys that could have potential bounce back years.
Honestly, you could say they're both in the same boat. To be honest,
Yeah, that's what I said. That's like pick your poison.
I think I'd rather expect more bounce back years from the bullpen. Eddie is your future ace, whatever, hopefully. And then if Eovaldi can stay healthy, but after that, you don't know what you're going to get from McHugh. He just had a big injury. This kid that just got released because of I forget what his name is, Gallon maybe.
Yeah.
And then I don't think Ryan Weber's very, very good. I think Brian Johnson's better than Ryan Weber.
Oh yeah, Brian Johnson.
Yeah. So, but you
You
don't
know
know.
who was in minor leagues was Erasmo Ramirez. I got to meet him in Pawtucket.
Really?
He was he played for the Mariners organization and the Rays.
Mhm.
I thought he was pretty good.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's like one of those veterans that I get. he kind of bounces around, but
I'm interested to see what we do in the sense of, are we going to have an opener? Like, obviously this year, but I'm saying, like, going forward, is Chaim going to bring that from Tampa here? You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Which, I mean, I'd rather not, but I just want my 5 starters. And
Yeah. Who knows? But especially this year, I think with the back half of your
I think
starting rotation.
anything could happen this
Yeah.
year. You telling me the Angels can't get hot and win it all with Trout?
Anyone could win this year. Anyone could win this
You
year.
got Trout, you got him, you got Rendon in there now.
Yeah. You got Madden. Madden's a great coach.
He is.
Do you got one
Speaking of Madden, last question from. It's not really a question, more just he was in our DMs talking Madden, so we'll just do it real quick to end this one off from at Big Bad Chad 12. Again, he didn't ask it specifically, but kind of lumping it in. What's everyone's Madden game? Whether like it's your nostalgia favorite, your favorite in general that you played. Just if you had to choose one Madden
They're
game,
all
what's your
pretty
game?
much the same.
Yeah.
though.
Oh yeah,
Tough.
thanks for making this fun. They're all the same.
They're all
This
the
is-
same.
I'll put it this
What was
way.
your game?
If we're gonna look at
Player.
what game, I'm gonna switch it up and go player
like
because
cover athlete.
no.
What do you mean?
I think in the sense that they are all pretty similar.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't know off the top of my
Yeah.
head what year was the best, but give me Madden 04. Mike
That's
Vick.
what I mean. Mine would be Madden 06.
I would go back to Madden 04 and play with Mike Vick.
Mm-hmm.
I would die for Tom Brady, and I used to trade Tom Brady for Mike Vick in Madden 04.
He's unstoppable.
Ungodly. Dude,
Now-
even Brady said that on Twitter the other day.
Mm.
Now, I must say, speaking of Madden, I've been playing Madden 20 right now, so Madden 21's not out. By the way, just full disclaimer, I think we messed up last week.
We did.
We said Patrick Mahomes was on the next cover of Madden. He was on last year's cover. I realized that.
It's Lamar this
Yeah,
year.
Lamar's
right?
this year. I had it right. I was Googling
Yeah.
and I had it right at first, and I think I put in Madden 20. It's like, oh, Patrick Mahomes.
So even more scared because Lamar, for Madden curse, completely real.
I don't think Lamar's going to have a great year this year. I think
I'd
once
agree
you have
with you.
tape on a QB like that, don't get me wrong, I still think he's very
Kaepernick
good.
effect. The Kaepernick effect.
Yeah, I think he's built better than RG3, so I'm not too worried. But then again, if you take one big hit, but yeah, I think once you have tape on a quarterback like that, you adapt and dude, like look at like Cam.
Yeah.
Cam was great in 15, 16 was eh.
Well, I'm glad you brought up Cam Newton because I did a fantasy draft on Madden, started a franchise, and I grabbed Cam Newton as my starting quarterback just to test the waters out
Yeah.
a little bit. I also had Julio, so that Julio was nice. And Christian McCaffrey. Point being, first game, I tweeted it out. He had like 4 touchdowns.
Yeah,
Like
I
rushing.
saw that, but he had 4 fumbles,
had
and
4
Belichick
fumbles.
would have benched him after the second one.
Well, you got to look at like the negative part of that, but I
Just
love
saying.
it. He has
Ball security, son.
I'm like, by the way, I'm like 8 games in with him, and I think he has 15 fumbles. So that's the one. That's the one interception though. I'm not. I like that.
Dude,
But-
I did. Me and my buddy did one. We do it on All Madden. And literally, like, Russell Wilson is my quarterback. We're in week 16. We haven't played in like 2 months. We always do like a fantasy draft, whatever. I love the running quarterbacks just because I like being able to get on the run, whatever.
Yeah.
So I think I had like the 3rd pick and I took Russ, whatever. Like, it was high. Or it might have been like 9 or whatever. And I think he's like number 1 in the MVP voting right now. And I've got like 40 touchdowns, but I have like 25 interceptions, dude. I just sling it. Like
Who's your running back? It doesn't matter.
Dalvin Cook.
Oh, jeez.
But that Dalvin Cook has like, when I use him, I break off big runs, but like, I'm going to throw first. But like, my 2
You
receivers
have to be a
are
Madden, though.
Nikhil Harry and AJ Brown.
I drafted AJ.
I traded Sanu for a 1st-round pick. Fun fact, you can do that in Madden. Can't do that in real life, but
Jesus.
yeah.
That's insane.
Well, thank you, Big Bad Chad, and all the other people's topics. As a reminder, you can always write in every week. It doesn't matter when we put a post out, but write in any time during the week if you have something that you want to ask. It was a fun episode.
It was.
It was
I
great.
did not know what we were
Off
going to
the walls.
Yeah.
episode,
Off the
yeah.
walls.
Wrestling.
Yeah.
Wrestling, a little Big Brother
Yeah.
talk. A little
Steve's a
challenge.
huge reality TV guy.
It's huge reality. You may see me on reality TV someday.
Hey, I know him.
I'm gonna use
Yeah.
it in my audition tape. I have a podcast.
Exactly.
I'm in the podcast
Yeah.
Big Red
That's your
Zone.
thing.
So, but
Just send him this episode.
yeah, just send him the 20-minute segment that we talked about Big Brother. Well, thank you for coming on, Jack. It was a blast.
Nah, I appreciate you guys having me on.
And-
Nice to actually be in the studio. I know
know,
last
it's
time was
great.
Zoom.
Yeah, I know. Thank God we can do
Yeah.
guest in studio. And if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for all our updates for our episodes. Also want to thank James and John, as always. Thanks for coming, and thank you for listening. Have a great week, everyone.
Tell a friend.
Tell a friend. That's
Tell
right.
a friend.
Tell a friend.